Part 10. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 91. Aha! Gu Huiyan yawned, walked to the electronic keyboard and sat down. The lights in the room are too dim, and it does have a sense of atmosphere, but it's raining outside, which makes people feel sleepy. Although he slept all afternoon, Gu Huiyan felt that in such an atmosphere one should remain drowsy. At this moment, he had to force himself to wake up. This kid. Gu Huiyan's boss Zhang Dan couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth when he saw this scene, thinking to himself, is it really okay for him to be so careless? Not to mention Zhang Dan, everyone probably felt that Gu Huiyan's careless appearance was a bit unreliable. Sitting in front of and behind the electronic keyboard, Gu Huiyan probably knew that he was a little dazed, so he simply raised his hands and rubbed his face, trying to wake himself up. Sing a song for everyone called, I Want to See You, I Want to See You. The lights in the room were dim, and Gu Huiyan wearing a hat gave people an inexplicable sense of mystery. When he said the title of the song, he paused for a moment, then glanced at Pei Jingshu sitting in the corner, smiled slightly, and finished the title. Want to See You. Oh. Then. Many CP fans of Pei Ban Take Care Of suddenly lost their composure. This song title can easily make people have wild imaginations. And he still said it to Pei Jingshu. Pei Ban Take Care CP fans said that the car door is welded shut and no one can get out of the car. A blush appeared on the pretty face of the cold fair-skinned beauty Pei Jingshu. If it hadn't been for the dim lighting in the room, it would have been very obvious now. Xilan and Shang Zuoyan's eyes were slightly jealous. Gu Huiyan grinned. To be honest, he really wanted to sing one of Little Lucky or Dark Days, but later he felt that the intention of these two songs was not very suitable for a romantic drama like Crystal Love Season. For Lianzone, just sing something sweet, something so sweet and so sweet. Besides, those two songs were a bit too awesome, and they were a bit too bullying to Zhang Shuo. They were recorded together for the show, so Gu Huiyan still took care of Zhang Shuo's feelings. Speaking of which, Gu Huiyan had indeed not played the piano for a while, and he felt inexplicably unfamiliar when he suddenly sat in front of the electronic keyboard. Dong, dong. Raising his hand, Gu Huiyan first tapped a few keys with his fingers. Probably because the system had added a music theory level, Gu Huiyan felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity as soon as those few notes came out. And looking at Gu Huiyan's actions. He can't play the piano, can he? Some audience members were beating the drum in their hearts. The way Gu Huiyan clicked the keys just now was the same as the way many beginners who don't know how to play the piano sit in front of the piano. The atmosphere was so good just now, and now I can't even play the piano. Are you sure you're not kidding me, Gu Huiyan? Zhang Shuo couldn't help but laugh. He thought to himself that it would be really interesting if this eldest brother could no longer play. But the idea just emerged from his heart. Ding dong dong dong. Gu Huiyan's hands directly rested on the keys, and then bursts of gentle melodies were played from his fingertips. It's smooth and delicate, and the tone of every note is accurately grasped. Obviously, just now Gu Huiyan was meditating with one finger like a beginner. The next moment, his hands were all on the keys, grabbing every note with both hands like a horse's reins, and combining them into a very beautiful melody. But this melody is very crisp and very recognizable. Oh! Little Ye Shang Zuoyan couldn't help but her eyes lit up and she felt a little surprised. She said. I feel like he definitely did it on purpose. He deliberately pretended not to know how to play, and deliberately made others think he didn't know how to play. He was like that before dancing Troublemaker and singing a Diao that day, pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger. This old six can definitely do this kind of thing. The corner of Zhang Shuo's mouth twitched, and the actor Su Yuntang's face trembled without any trace. They thought to themselves that this kid Gu Huiyan would not be able to pretend this again, right? The two of them started to beat drums in their hearts. The three female guests, Pei Jingshu, Shang Zuoyan, and Xylan, looked at Gu Huiyan expectantly. Dong dong dong. Gu Huiyan sat in front of the electronic keyboard, playing the piano skillfully and singing. When love is left as a relic and carved into memories with pictograms. Missing for centuries is what will be unforgettable. If I could go back to the Ice Age, I would love to hold you tight and handle you. Your smile is so healing. Let life wake up. Pattering. It was raining outside the window, and a warm atmosphere was deliberately created in the room. The sound of rain seemed to be the accompaniment of Gu Huiyan's song I want to see you, I want to see you, I want to see you. It is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan's voice is very clear, as if there is a CD player installed in his throat, and the nasal resonance is very recognizable, making people mesmerized. What's even more interesting is his song, I want to see you, I want to see you, I want to see you. The melody is very soothing and rhythmic. Listening to it makes people feel relaxed and healing, and it's also inexplicably sweet in it. The most interesting thing is that when Gu Huiyan sang the line your smile is so healing, it makes life come alive, he secretly glanced at Pei Jingshu. When the camera is shown to Pei Jingshu, you can see that Sister Pei's fair and pretty face is slightly flushed, and her eyes are slightly averted. Oh! At that time, their CP fans were really about to explode on the spot. There's nothing more sultry than him singing on stage while she blushes off stage, right? The barrage exploded. Gu Huiyan, you know how to sing love songs. Shout with me, Pei Ban takes care of CPYYDS. The door is welded shut, no one is allowed to get out of the car. Losing your landscape is like a ruin, like a lost civilization. Can a miracle give us a glimmer of hope? Can you meet again? Gu Huiyan is really good at singing. He occasionally raises the pitch, and occasionally plays a few bass lines, which are ups and downs. Every line he sings is very good, especially the vibrato in the last line, which gives people a rippling feeling. Very nice to hear. Has his voice been this good before? Shang Zuoyan was shocked. She even doubted her ears. She clearly remembered that when Gu Huiyan sang a Diao that night, the tone was not so good. His voice tonight was very delicate, like velvet or cream cake, which was very pleasant to listen to. It's not a song of the same style. Goddess Xylan smiled softly, but her smile was a little forced. Her eyes were always fixed on Gu Huiyan on the stage. Her younger brother was sitting in front of the electronic keyboard. His clothes were not that fancy, his piano hands were so simple that there were no accessories, and he even wore a grey hat. But it just so happened that he was such a simple person, but he gave people an inexplicable attraction, as if he wanted to make people fall into him. To be honest, Xylan thinks Gu Huiyan's current image is more like a musician. Musicians should be so mysterious and fascinating. Like Zhang Shuo just now, he was more like an idol performer, and the only thing that attracted people's attention was his appearance. Appearance may be a plus, but if you can move people intuitively with music, why do you need appearance? What makes the mature sister a little lonely is that such a beautiful song was sung to Pei Jingshu, not to her. Ding dong dong. The crisp sound of the piano continues. Gu Huiyan's keyboard is really stable, every note is played very well, and it matches his singing and emotional points very well. Maybe it's time for the chorus. Gu Huiyan, the old man, secretly glanced at Pei Jingshu again and sang. I just want to see you. The future is past, I just want to see you. Through thousands of times, in the timeline, in the sea of people, we are dependent on each other. Exhausted logic and scheming to reason about love, the most difficult mystery. Will you also? Same as me. Waiting for a word. I will, yes. Oh. Ah. As soon as Gu Huiyan sang the chorus, the barrage started flooding the screen. I'm getting goosebumps. These sentences are so nice. These lyrics are really sweet. He is really good at writing and singing. Gulalu, if you continue to sing these lyrics and peek at my sister Pei, I will stab you to death. But they are so sweet. I cried to death. I have to say that Gu Huiyan's song Want to See You Want to See You Want to See You is really well written, especially the lyrics. God knows how excited those CP fans were when he sang to Pei Jingshu, I want to see you, I just want to see you, in the future and in the past, I just want to see you and are you the same as me, waiting for the word I do. They just shouted confess. Confess. Confess, and promise him. Promise him. Promise him. The effect of the program at this moment is directly overflowing, okay. The audience all wanted to say, this is the most standard theme song in our hearts, right? Not only is the lyrics of this song very artistic and sweet, the music is also well composed and the melody is quite catchy. Especially the chorus, not only is it top-notch, but it is also so coherent, with long ups and downs of melody and striking lyrics, as if an invisible big hand is squeezing the emotions of all the audience. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Wherever he wants everyone to go, everyone goes. It is worth mentioning that this song has a very high pitch. Don't look at Gu Huiyan singing easily, that's because he mixed the real and false sounds in some high-pitched positions. It would be very difficult for ordinary people to sing this key with their real voice. When we sang a Diao yesterday, everyone vaguely felt that Gu Huiyan's vocal range was very wide, but they didn't expect that his pitch could reach this level in Want to See You. The most amazing thing is his singing method. The transition between strong and weak mixing is perfect. The difference between real and false sounds is not that big, and the mixed sound is very nice and delicate. No wonder he can give everyone goosebumps when singing. This singing skill is really impressive. Many people had said before that Gu Huiyan was so careless and unreliable. Some people also said that he had one song a Diao and how could he have a second song. Some people even said that he was going to be hung up and beaten by Jiangsuo, their home country. But what about now? All cynicism and sarcasm disappeared at this moment, as if they had never appeared in this world. Just now, there were often a group of idiot fans of the Jiangsuo family praising someone in the barrage. Now it was as if they had been cleared of the screen, and all their belittling words had disappeared. It's not that they don't want to scold or flatter others, but Gu Huiyan's song I Want to See You, I Want to See You, I Want to See You is simply a dimensionality reducing blow to the song their country Jiangsuo sang just now. Yes, Jiangsuo's song just now is indeed very nice and of high quality. But Gu Huiyan's I Want to See You, I Want to See You, I Want to See You simply beat Jiangsuo up in terms of song quality, stage effect, program effect, keyboard skills, singing skills, and so on. There's no comparison. In the face of real hard power, the biggest embarrassing thing fans can say is I think it's about the same. This moment. Jiangsuo's face was ashen in the audience. He never expected that in less than 2 days, Gu Huiyan would be able to produce such a high-quality work. What made him even more speechless was that Gu Huiyan often looked at Pei Jingshu secretly when singing this song, and almost said that this song was written for Pei Jingshu. This song is a theme song written for the show crew. It's the theme song of Lianzone. It's very sweet. At a few points in the song, when he secretly glanced at Pei Jingshu, the mouthful of dog food was like stuffing into Jiangsuo's mouth. What's the difference between finding a green helmet and putting it on his head? Have to say. This really shot him in the foot and brought it upon himself. He felt uncomfortable, and the actor Su Yuntang was not much better either. Although Gu Huiyan was showing affection with Pei Jingshu, he found that Xylin always had a different emotion in her eyes when staring at Gu Huiyan. Actor Su's face turned green when he realized this. Regarding the cooperation with Jiangsuo in asking Gu Huiyan to sing the theme song, he expressed regret that his intestines were green. Okay. Tick-tock-tock. The light rain was still falling outside the window, but it slowly started to lighten up. I would like to. I will. When Gu Huiyan finished singing, the rain stopped. And his words I do were like some kind of hint, secretly sung to Pei Jingshu. At that time, there was a lot of barrage. Gu Lalu, look at how worthless you are. It caused a lot of laughter and laughter. Dong dong. When the last few notes fell, Gu Huiyan's hands moved away from the keys. Thanks. Next moment. Pa bang bang. The guests applauded one after another. Gu Huiyan scratched his head and smiled a little embarrassedly. I haven't compiled this song yet, so let's sing half of it like this. It's just a competition in itself. It's enough for everyone to know a rough idea. There's no need to sing it all. The mature sister Xylin couldn't help but cover her mouth and chuckle when she heard this. Just like that, he had already trampled Jiangshuo's song to the ground and ravaged it. Okay. The barrage was also flooding at this time. Your brother Gu is still your brother Gu. You can say Gu Huiyan has no taste, but you can't say he has no talent. No. Is this really written by that villager Gu Huiyan? I can't believe it. He's really pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger, and he's so damn good at pretending. Speaking of which, this young man Gu Huiyan is really outstanding. That day's troublemaker and a Diao were amazing enough. Today's want to see you want to see you want to see you surprised everyone in terms of music theory, timbre, keyboard level, etc. He is really refreshing everyone's understanding of him. To be honest. During the performance, Gu Huiyan was really unlike his usual village spirit behavior. Just look at his usual behavior. He wears big pants and flip-flops all day long, goes out to ride an electric bike, uses toilet water and wind oil essence when bitten by mosquitoes, and eats braised beef instant noodles that cost a few yuan a pack for breakfast. You have to chew every ham sausage with your mouth. How could he be reminded of the current Gu Huiyan? In daily life, Gu Huiyan has earth engraved in his bones, but now, Gu Huiyan looks so expensive. This extreme contrast really makes people dumbfounded. Okay. Pa bang bang. Unseen by the camera, Gu Huiyan's boss Zhang Dan silently raised his hand to applaud him, with admiration written all over his face. To be honest, she was very satisfied with Gu Huiyan's performance tonight. She never expected that Gu Huiyan could write such an amazing work in just 2 days. She is indeed not a professional musician, but from the perspective of the audience and commercial value, she feels that the value of this song should be quite high, at least not weaker than a Diao. As for this song, she dared to say that it could be used directly as the theme song because it surpassed the works of all the musicians they invited. If nothing else, just look at the effect of the show when he sang just now. It is no different from directly confessing to Pei Jingshu. It is so sweet. I have some work to do next. Zhang Dan gave a wry smile and thought that starting tonight, Want to See You would be all over the internet. Speaking of which, Gu Huiyan is really her only and biggest surprise in all these years of working. After singing Want to See You, Gu Huiyan was praised by the stars again. Everyone praised him when they caught him. I feel a little embarrassed to praise Gu Huiyan. It is worth mentioning that Gu Laoliu, who often glanced at Pei Jingshu when singing Want to See You, did not dare to talk to Pei Jingshu after he came off the stage. He acted like a big boy who had just fallen in love, giving Pei Jingshu should who laughed, but Pei Jingshu was also a little shy, so she was not embarrassed to talk to him. Between the two of them, there was blushing, heartbeat, ambiguity, all kinds of emotions, which made the Pei band takes care of CP fans very excited, and they couldn't wait to spread their CP to every corner of the world. Maybe it was because of the rainy day, but around 8 o'clock, the mature sister Xylin became sleepy, yawned and said she wanted to rest. As soon as she left, the actor Su followed her. Zhang Shuo left early because it was very embarrassing tonight, so everyone went back to rest. It is worth mentioning that Pei Jingshu called Gu Huiyan before leaving, but she hesitated to speak. When Gu Huiyan asked her what was wrong, she said it was nothing, which made Gu Huiyan feel quite depressed. This is how the recording of today's program ends. It's very late, and it's easy for everyone to feel sleepy on a rainy day. Basically, we don't have much energy at this point. That is to say, Gu Huiyan, the old man, slept all afternoon, and now he is not sleepy at all, but full of energy. Everyone had left, and he had no intention of leaving. He sat in the living room, drinking water and playing games on his mobile phone. Maybe it was because there was no one around. Occasionally, he would curse and yell at his teammates on the mic. Although it wasn't swearing, it didn't sound very nice. I don't know how long this game lasted. Anyway, the staff yawned. Isn't this kid leaving yet? At the corner of the stairs where the female guest lived, in the shadow of the light, Pei Jingshu's sister Pei Ya and her assistant came down carefully with their suitcases, glanced at him secretly, and secretly gritted their teeth. Pei Jingshu was right behind her. Sister Pei secretly looked at Gu Huiyan, with a pair of clear eyes that seemed to be a little reluctant. No, why do we have to be so sneaky? Pei Ya really couldn't wait any longer and said speechlessly. If it's any later, the flight may be delayed, you know. Okay, how can songs of the level of Little Lucky and Dark Days be released so early? They will definitely become more exciting as they go on. When I choose songs, I don't usually care about whether they are popular or not, just suitable ones. Of course, I definitely don't even bother to read the bad songs on the internet in recent years. My taste is not that bad. Do you feel comfortable writing a chapter for this song? Let's see who dares to call me short. Wakaka. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 92. Pei Jingshu has work tomorrow. It is a competitive variety show in which well-known singers participate. They record one episode a week. It is almost the time to record, so they will temporarily leave Crystal Love season for a few days. After catching up on that variety show, I still have to attend a brand owner's offline event, a jeweler's dinner, and a business show before I come back. This trip may take at least 3 to 5 days, and I won't be back so soon. Tonight's flight is to Funan. Normally, if you want to leave, just leave. Can't we just pack up and leave? But Pei Jingshu didn't want to tell everyone, especially Gu Huiyan, so she thought she would sneak away after everyone had a rest and let the program team inform everyone. But who knows? Gu Huiyan, the old man, slept all afternoon and felt very energetic at night. He didn't rush upstairs and started playing games in the living room. Just now, Pei Ya called the staff of the program team to find an excuse to urge him upstairs, but the guy insisted on saying, "Wait until I finish this fight." Another 10 minutes passed and he still hadn't gone upstairs. The staff went over to urge him and said, "The Dragon King group is over soon, please wait a moment." Pei Ya was so angry that she almost rushed over and beat him. She really couldn't understand when she had to be secretive when taking Pei Jingshu out. Just now. Occasionally seeing the slight reluctance in her sister's eyes when she looked at Gu Huiyan, Pei Ya almost wanted to scold her. To be honest, she actually regretted letting Pei Jingshu take on the show Crystal Love season. In fact, when they came to this show, Zhang Dan said at the beginning that there were Su Yuntang, Xylan, and so in the show. In short, they were all top-notch, and they didn't have to do anything even if they didn't compete with the male guests. Big exposure. This Zhang Dan guy is nicknamed Draft Yeast because his shows are not bad and his people are amazing. Pei Ya thought that anyway, even if she was on a love show, it would be just for fun. She knew her sister's personality well, and her superior family had determined her high standards since she was a child. It was generally unlikely that she would be tempted by the top people in the industry. So I accepted it. But who would have known that after coming here, he would meet an old man like Gu Huiyan, who just didn't follow the routine in everything he did, but he managed to trick Pei Jingshu away from her heart in just a few days. Not only did she send him heartwarming messages every night, she even secretly went on dates with him behind her back. It was even more extreme today. She didn't even want him to know when she left. She also asked them to follow her secretly and wait for Mr. Gu Huiyan to go upstairs before leaving. Pei Ye really didn't expect that her sister's heart would be abducted directly after she accepted a variety show. The eyes of my proud sister are also shattered. She was really ashamed of herself. If she could do it all over again, she swore that she would not help Pei Jingshu accept the crappy show Crystal Love Season no matter how much exposure she gave. Ta-ta. At this time, there was a sound of footsteps. Gu Huiyan's boss Zhang Dan had just finished work and was about to go back. When they saw Pei Jingshu and the others, they couldn't help coming over to say hello and asked with a smile. "You really don't want to say goodbye?" She told Pei Jingshu this. In fact, Zhang Dan was also a bit dissatisfied with Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu's Pei Ban takes care of CP, thinking that before leaving, "You should be separated from our little Gu Dao. I might as well give you two a few shots to satisfy your CP fans." When Pei Jingshu heard this, she couldn't help but glance at Gu Huiyan in the living room, who was cursing and yelling at his teammates. She was amused when she saw that guy acting like that. Today, Sister Pei is wearing college student clothes. Her high-waisted, loose straight jeans make her legs look very long. Her waist is slender and skinny, and her whole body looks very tender. Even in the shadow of the light, she is always so bright and charming. To be honest, she really wanted to say goodbye, but after saying goodbye, she was afraid that she would be reluctant to leave. What the hell? Without waiting for Pei Jingshu to answer, Pei Ya pulled Pei Jingshu to protect her behind her. She was so angry that Zhang Dan happened to hit the muzzle of the gun. She couldn't help but said angrily, "Why don't you let that kid go upstairs quickly? Zhang Dan is also a bad person. As Gu Huiyan's boss, how can she just tell Gu Huiyan to go upstairs quickly?" She kept her mouth shut and was watching the show on the side, which made Pei Ya want to scold her. She really looks down on this in-laws. He. Hearing this, Zhang Dan just laughed, pointed at Gu Huiyan and said, "Right away too." She was talking. "Nice, take it." Gu Huiyan seemed to have finished the fight. He moved a little and went upstairs with his own water glass. Call. Seeing that he was finally gone, Pei Ya couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Then she asked her assistant to quickly get her things and go out, and she took Pei Jingshu's wrist to leave. He didn't even plan to say hello to Zhang Dan. That. Zhang Dan was not angry, but instead called out to Pei Jingshu. When Pei Jingshu looked back, she smiled meaningfully. "I have to remind you that if you leave tonight, Xiao Gu's heartbeat message will definitely be sent to others." As soon as these words came out, Pei Jingshu was slightly stunned, her eyebrows were slightly frowned, her chin was slightly raised, and a somewhat unhappy expression soon appeared on her beautiful face. The milk is fierce. The milk is fierce. The fact that Pei Jingshu is leaving will not be released until tonight during the heartbeat information announcement session. Once she leaves today, tonight's heartbeat information will have nothing to do with her. She cannot send it to others, and others cannot send it to her. The program team's rule is that the heartbeat message must be sent to a guest of the opposite sex every night. In other words, if Gu Huiyan's heartbeat message cannot be sent to her tonight because Pei Jingshu is gone, it will definitely be sent to one of Xylan and Shang Zuoyan. Tonight's heart-pounding information session is very interesting just thinking about Zhang Dan. Pei Jingshu refused to leave, and Gu Huiyan's heartbeat messages were sent to her for several days in a row. Her position was really unshakable. In the past few days, Gu Huiyan has received heartwarming messages from Xylan and Shang Zuoyan one after another. Yes, maybe the two girls didn't send it to him yesterday, but tonight his song "Want to See You" was so effective. Do you dare to say that neither Xilan nor Shangzuoyan would send him a heartwarming message? And he will definitely reply to one of them, which means he will definitely exchange songs with other female guests. This is exciting just thinking about it. Zhang Dan told Pei Jingshu that he did mean to cause trouble. Isn't this? After realizing this, Pei Jingshu stood there with a look of helplessness. She hesitated and even asked her sister Pei Yat. Can our work? Cannot. Pei Ye refused without thinking, not to mention that the job was scheduled in advance and there was a contract. Even if it was not scheduled in advance, she could not allow her sister to be tied up because of a man. She was puzzled, how could Pei Jingshu be so in love? Then Zhang Dan just says a few words and you won't leave? I'll hang you up and you won't leave? You are stupid. If he really likes you, even if he is forced to send love messages to others, how can he be snatched away by other female guests just because they have been apart for a few days? On the other hand, if he really exchanges ideas with other female guests in the past few days, then he is very unfocused and a scumbag. You will definitely not have a good outcome with such a man. Why don't you understand such a simple truth? Pei Yat almost wanted to curse, so steamed. Although she was very unwilling and worried, Pei Jingshu was still dragged away by Pei Yat. It is worth mentioning that after leaving Yongzi village, Pei Yat took away her mobile phone in the name of work. Pei Jingshu wanted Zhang Dan to help pass a message to Gu Huiyan, but unfortunately Zhang Dan said that for the sake of the excitement of our show, she definitely couldn't help pass it on. That's all. This pair of misfortunate Mandarin ducks were forced to be separated in this way. As Gu Huiyan went upstairs and Pei Jingshu left, the guests in the crystal courtyard entered today's heartbeat message session again under the notice of the staff. Tonight's exciting message is destined to be more interesting than the previous few days. Pei Jingshu is gone. The guests who received the news were a little surprised, but it was not that unexpected. In itself, except for Gu Huiyan, the guests who come to this show are all top-notch. Everyone is basically busy with work, and it is impossible to record a live show for a continuous period of time. Xilan and Su Yuntang are a little better. When they reach the status of celebrities, they pay more attention to their works. Traffic and other things are not so important to them. When they are not filming and not on the crew, they are relatively leisurely. The mature sister 11 didn't say on the first day she came to the show that she was on vacation and should just relax. On the other hand, top celebrities like Shangzuoyan, Zhang Shuo, and Pei Jingshu have very full schedules. They basically participate in several programs at the same time, as well as various shooting tasks, commercial acting tasks, etc. When Zhang Shuo came, he was late for a business performance and would have to leave temporarily to work in 2 days. That is to say, Shangzuoyan is preparing for a tour with her teammates recently. She only needs to practice dancing here with the dance teacher. She is not so busy for the time being, otherwise she would not have time to record all the time. Even Gu Huiyan has to find time to go to the recording studio to record a diao these days, and the music platform is waiting to be used. Therefore, everyone is not really surprised by Pei Jingshu's temporary departure. This was agreed with the program team before the recording. Only, Pei Jingshu's departure is destined to have a certain impact on tonight's heartbeat message session. When notifying Pei Jingshu to leave, the program team also informed the guests that Pei Jingshu will not participate in the heartbeat message session tonight, and the guests cannot send heartbeat messages to Pei Jingshu. Realizing this, the mentality of the guests is interesting. Best actor Su Yuntang is a little better. After all, he has never interacted with Pei Jingshu, and he is not a person of the same dimension. On the other hand, Xilan, Shangzuoyan, Gu Huiyan, and Zhang Shuo all had different reactions. After the mature sister Xilan and Xiao Yema Shangzuoyan learned about this incident, they keenly realized that Gu Huiyan's heartbeat message tonight could not be sent to Pei Jingshu, so it could only be sent to one of them. I became interested at that time and thought it would be pie in the sky. Gu Huiyan had a bit of a headache, because he had sent it to Pei Jingshu in the past few days, and when she left, he really didn't know who to choose. Then tonight I sang Want to See You to Pei Jingshu, and the scene was like a confession scene. Would it be ridiculous if this heartwarming message was sent to others? Zhang Shuo is also a little stupid, because yesterday Shang Zuoyan and Sister Xilan's heartwarming messages were sent to him, and he sent them to Pei Jingshu just to show off. Today, as soon as Pei Jingshu left, he was a little bit stuck. If Sister Xilan and Shang Zuoyan's heartwarming messages are not sent to him tonight, and he is forced to send them to the two girls, this will be a bit. The male god turns into a licking dog. What a complete contrast to yesterday. Anyway, the guests really began to think about it individually. Pei Jingshu's departure seemed to disrupt the overall pattern, causing those desires that were forced to hide because they couldn't get them to start to stir up again. Finished deliberation. The affectionate actor Su sent his heartwarming message to Xilan again without hesitation. He is used to chasing and asking for nothing in return. Having said that, the actor Su may also have a sense of crisis because of Gu Huiyan. In the heartwarming message sent to Xilan tonight, he not only wrote a very beautiful love letter, but also specifically mentioned that he visited Xilan's crew before. He made tea for her and invited her to watch the performance of a famous foreign pianist, trying to evoke some beautiful memories that only he and Xilan had. The actor Su has a way of using the scene of Gu Huiyan singing and playing the piano to evoke their own memories. Hoo. Because it was raining, the staff were helping to dehumidify and repel mosquitoes in the room. The mature Sister Xilan tied up her hair in big waves, put on a facial mask, and wore white satin pajamas. She was holding her mobile phone and looking at the heartbeat Su Yuntang sent her. Information. Somewhat helpless. Sister Xilan, are you sure you don't want to reply to Cousin Yun? The assistant who was helping with dehumidification couldn't help but feel sorry for Su Yuntang. Whoever likes such affectionate actor Su, why is Xilan so hard-hearted? She even wanted to say, just give it to him once, Sister Xilan. But Xilan calmly picked up the bottle of fenjujing that had been broken during the day from the table on the side, and gently wiped it on the area on her body that was bitten by mosquitoes. He shook his head slowly. She offered no explanation. He just smiled lightly, put the wind oil essence on his white and tender arm, took a picture, and sent it to Gu Huiyan with the text. Fenjujing is very practical, and so are you. First floor. Oh my god, I'm really convinced. The little wild horse Shang Zuoyan came down from upstairs after applying the facial mask. At this moment, the lights in the living room were not turned on. She scratched her arms and looked around for something. Speaking of which, Shang Zuoyan really wanted to scold several of her staff members. Other people's assistants knew that when Xilan and Gu Huiyan were bitten by mosquitoes, they hurried upstairs to do mosquito removal. Her staff, on the other hand, just forgot about it. The mosquito bites made her itchy unbearably in the middle of the night, and she was forced to go downstairs to find the toilet water and fenjujing that Gu Huiyan bought during the day. Mentioning that staff member Shang Zuoyan made her teeth itch with anger. She was really not a cannibal. All she wanted to do all day was to stare at her and not eat too much and not gain weight. She didn't do anything serious. Snored. I go. As soon as she arrived at the door of the guest room, she suddenly caught a glimpse of a figure. The figure looked like Gu Huiyan. Shang Zuoyan was startled and she quickly dodged around the corner. If Gu Huiyan discovers this, what an embarrassment. The other two parties are about to start gaining points. I haven't decided on the CP name for Sister Xilan yet, but tentatively decided on looking to the west. If anyone has a better idea, you can leave a message in the comment area. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 93. Huh, scared me. After taking a closer look, she found that it was a staff member, and Shang Zuoyan breathed a sigh of relief. She was really afraid of being discovered by Gu Huiyan, because during the day, she actually disliked Gu Huiyan's essential oils and toilet water. It can't be said that she dislikes them. The main reason is that she usually uses cosmetics and perfumes. As a girl, she likes those fragrant smells. When she was a child, she didn't even use them when her family asked her to use them. The scent of this toilet water and essential oil is so strong that even a little use can cover up the smell of all the cosmetics and perfume on her body. Especially at that time, the smell of his toilet water and Fenju essence had washed away the fragrance of Su Yuntang de Hongbao's tea. Shang Zuoyan thought at that time that she would not be able to use this wind oil essence and toilet water even if she were killed. Now she was very glad that she didn't say those words, otherwise it would have been really delicious. Shang Zuoyan breathed a sigh of relief after spraying some toilet water and rubbing some fenjujing. The itchy area felt cool and comfortable. At this time, she was thinking that Gu Huiyan might not be so glamorous, but he was really pragmatic. Under the moonlight, even if she was wearing pajamas, it was difficult to conceal Shang Zuoyan's hot and curvy figure, and her pretty, doll-like face was dripping with yearning. "Aren't you still sending heartbeat messages?" At this time, the staff on duty came to remind her. "Heartbeat message?" Xiaoma Shang Zuoyan smiled charmingly when she heard this and said. "It has been sent to Gu Huiyan a long time ago." After she learned that Pei Jingshu had left, she sent her heartwarming message to Gu Huiyan without any hesitation. It is worth mentioning that tonight Shang Zuoyan and Sister Xilan thought of going together, and they both included pictures. Sister Xilan was relatively reserved and took photos with her hands. Shang Zuoyan directly chose a self-portrait of her face. In the photo, she wore a cute ponytail, and her ever-changing girl style was clearly visible. She showed off her playful scissor hands and winked. "Pout your little mouth, be as tempting as you want." She captioned it. "Hey, do you want to form a CP with me?" Straightforward and hot, just like her Shang Zuoyan personality, she is so aggressive. Gu Huiyan's room. "Hey, what are you doing?" Gu Huiyan, who was standing at the window to close the window, found that there were a few mosquitoes trying to get in, which made others numb. "MD, he smelled like toilet water and it was useless even if you got in, my friend." Well. Feeling helpless, Gu Huiyan sighed and simply ignored it, letting them dig in as they pleased. Holding the phone in his arms, Gu Huiyan lay on the bed and looked at two heartwarming messages from Sister Xilan and Shang Zuoyan, feeling a little embarrassed. To be honest, Gu Huiyan has always been a dedicated person, especially when it comes to relationships, at least that's what he thinks. Until now, when he came to this show, he actually liked Pei Jingshu. He originally thought that by the end of this show, they would be the most deadly pair of CPS, and there would be no accidents. Who would have thought that Pei Jingshu would suddenly leave the team to go to work, and he would be forced to send a heartfelt message to one of Xilan and Shang Zuoyan. The most terrible thing is that the two girls sent him heartwarming messages again tonight, and what's even more terrible is that he just sang "Want to see you" to Pei Jingshu today. Gu Huiyan couldn't help but want to complain about the program team. "Why do you still have such a bad program, forcing people to become scumbags?" "I was scolded, you are responsible." Mullet Row. Looking at the heartwarming messages from Sister Xilan and Shang Zuoyan, Gu Huiyan's difficulty in choosing recurred. If you want to talk about advantages, then Shang Zuoyan definitely has advantages. She is so straightforward and hot. What boy can refuse such a heartwarming message that is like a direct pursuit of love? It has never been Shang Zuoyan's style to not fight or grab. She can get what she wants even if she finds every opportunity and uses a hoe to pry around the corner. But the heartwarming message sent by Sister Xilan is not bad either. To be honest, she is her sister, and even the covered photo of her arm made Gu Lulu fantasize about it. This really makes it difficult for Gu Huiyan to make a choice. He is exactly the opposite of Zhang Shuo. Zhang Shuo now wants one of the two female guests to send him a heartwarming message, so he can choose to reply to one of them. Gu Huiyan hopes that both female guests will leave him alone. Create an affectionate persona where he is forced to send heartwarming messages, rather than being forced to reply. All we can say is that those who suffer from drought will die from drought, and those who suffer from drought will die from waterlogging. It was really a headache to think about it, so Gu Huiyan finally chose to reply to Shang Zuoyan. He said, "Delete this photo. There's a vegetable stuck in your teeth." Just. Shang Zuoyan finished spraying toilet water downstairs and was just about to go upstairs. Ding dong. Suddenly a notification came from the phone. Little Mustang's eyes lit up, his heart trembled with excitement, and he hurried over to grab the phone. A pair of big doll-like eyes looked expectantly, and then they saw Gu Huiyan's reply message. Shang Zuoyan was stunned for a moment, and then she unbelievably clicked on the beautiful photo she sent to Gu Huiyan. When she zoomed in, she found that there was an invisible green vegetable between her teeth in the photo. Ah! How embarrassing! At this moment, Shang Zuoyan's pretty face turned red with embarrassment, and she wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl in. Oh, Shang Zuoyan, the photo with green vegetables on her teeth was sent to someone else. This exciting message was posted on the official account of the program and was whipped to death by netizens. Isn't she going to die? Thinking of this, she didn't know whether she was ashamed or angry. Shang Zuoyan raised her head and stared in the direction of Gu Huiyan's room, stamped her feet angrily, and muttered, "This bastard! If he hadn't told me, no one might have discovered it yet." It is worth mentioning that when she stamped her feet, the flesh on her thighs rippled a few times, which was very eye-catching. Moment. Puff. She couldn't help but laugh in anger again. Under the bright moonlight, even wearing cute pink pajamas, Shang Zuoyan could not hide her hot figure. At this time, Shang Zuoyan could be said to be angry and happy. Call her angry, Gu Huiyan did reply to her heartbeat message, and did not choose Sister Xylin. "You say you are happy, look at what nonsense this bastard said." She didn't even know what to say. She was thinking, why could Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu be so sweet and so funny when they came to her place? What the hell? Don't funny girls deserve love? After Pei Jingshu left, chattering and noisy, this intense and exciting heartbeat information session finally came to an end. In the evening, Gu Huiyan once again posted various hot searches in various postures and styles. Hashtag the biggest eye-catching bag in the history of entertainment industry. Hashtag instant noodles, toilet water, and fenjujing, how good is Gu Huiyan at home? Hashtag extra plot of slippers. Hashtag Gu Huiyan's same ham sausage chewing method. Hashtag Su Yuntang's Kung Fu Tea, Gu Huiyan's iced black tea. Hashtag no one should try to talk about style in front of Gu Huiyan in any form. Hashtag want to see you, want to see you, want to see you. Hashtag Payban takes care of CP, please lock him up. Hashtag Gu Huiyan's heartwarming message was sent to Shang Zuoyan. Hashtag Speaking of which, Gu Huiyan is also a hotly searched for physique. Ever since he appeared on the show Crystal Love Season, he has been trending almost every day, with all kinds of strange and diverse poses. The key is that he has never done the same thing twice, which is also admirable. There's nothing I can do about it, he's so good at doing things. Who's an artist on a show who cooks instant noodles in the morning and then uses toilet water and fenju essence when bitten by a mosquito? These things are quite explosive not only in the history of variety shows, but also in the history of the entire entertainment industry. The most ridiculous thing is Gu Huiyan's flip-flops. MD's flip-flops are like a spirit. Now when everyone hears the footsteps of his slippers, they can all keenly know that it is Gu Huiyan who is here. He was born with his own BGM. God knows how strong the visual conflict was when he was holding an umbrella and running in the yard while a group of guests were enjoying tea in the living room. Speaking of this, everyone has to feel sorry for the actor Su Yuntang. Logically speaking, Su Yuntang's Kung Fu tea brewing is very standard, and the techniques are textbook level. If it weren't for Gu Huiyan, Su Yuntang's De Hongbao Kung Fu tea would have been the most popular on the internet. But the crux of the matter is that his De Hongbao Kung Fu tea is linked to Gu Huiyan's iced black tea. Even if it is a gimmick, everyone will immediately pay attention to Gu Huiyan's iced black tea. This wave of Su Yuntang's Kung Fu tea is like a foil to Gu Huiyan's iced black tea, contributing to his popularity. This left Su Yuntang's fans speechless for a while, and they couldn't help but laugh or cry. In the end, they could only say, "I feel sorry for Su Yuntang." Having said that, Gu Huiyan really often contributes things that are out of the ordinary to everyone these days. The day before yesterday, I and Pei Jingshu contributed an out-of-the-art style chopstick hair pair to everyone. Today, there is also something out of the art. It's just that this thing that is out of the circle is a bit embarrassing in a strict sense. That was Gu Huiyan's chewing method for chewing ham sausage. I don't know which internet celebrity blogger with a bad brain watched the show to watch Gu Huiyan's gnawing method, which was very interesting. He posted a same style video. Unexpectedly, he was favored by the platform and distributed a lot. Then it got out of hand. Many internet celebrity bloggers immediately followed the trend as soon as they saw the trend. In just half a day, this gnawing method became popular. Douyin even mentioned a hot search topic called #Gu Huiyan same ham sausage chewing method. #. The video attracted widespread attention and raised the topic to a level it should not have reached. At first it was just a lot of follower bloggers, then some food bloggers, and then MD actually has a Shiu or cross-dressing blogger who did a ham-chewing cross-dressing. It can be said that he has a brilliant mind and is very amusing. To be honest, when Gu Huiyan saw it, everyone was confused and almost wanted to curse. You said that people like to bring up topics related to the same style, either the same style or the same makeup, but Pei Jingshu still has the same hairstyle. Why did they become the same type when they came to him? Are you wearing the same style? It's so embarrassing to step on a horse. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 94. There is an interesting hot search called #the biggest eye bag in the history of the entertainment industry. #. This is also our family, Mr. Gu. Eye bag, as the name suggests, is embarrassing. In this topic, we take stock of all the things that Gu Huiyan has done since he appeared on the show that everyone considers embarrassing and that make people laugh or cry. Whether it's flip-flops in big pants, showing off potato chips, pounding garlic, drinking Coke, riding an electric bike, eating roadside stalls, eating instant noodles, or spraying toilet water and wind oil essence, all of them show off his eye bags, the true meaning of nicknames. To be honest, Gu Huiyan's fans can almost be said to be the most embarrassing fans on the entire internet. In the comment area, you can often see people saying, "We are so embarrassed." It's not that they really feel embarrassed, it's just that the things Gu Huiyan did are a bit too rural compared to other celebrities. That other celebrities, entertainers, idols are always dressed up in exquisite, expensive and extravagant clothes, with all kinds of international big names, walking on the red carpet, trending, etc. Where is our little Gu? Look at what hot searches he likes to mention all day long. You just can't laugh or cry at him. The meme eye bags was originally about the embarrassing actions of several idols on the show, but no one expected that it would be Gu Huiyan who finally made this meme rise to a height it should not have. Indeed, compared with Gu Huiyan, How dare those idols be called disgraceful? That's little Karami, okay. Once this word is used on Gu Huiyan, it becomes his exclusive pronoun, and no one else is qualified to use it. Logically speaking, such a disgraceful star should rely on these clown behaviors to make a name for himself in the industry, but our little Gu has to take the talent route. It went so smoothly. I Want to See You, I Want to See You, I Want to See You was originally composed by Gu Huiyan as the theme song of Crystal Love Season. Who knew that this song would go viral after Gu Huiyan sang it that night, and the video was quickly forwarded to major social platforms, earning a lot of rewards extensive attention. The officially edited video of Crystal Love Season has received over 1 million likes. Countless crazy viewers went to the official accounts of major music platforms to urge for updates like crazy, saying that if the sound source of Want to See You is not available, please report your address. The razor blades are enough. That battle was even more brutal than the last time in a DL. First of all, this song is really nice, but what really makes everyone feel good is the scene when Gu Huiyan sings it to Pei Jingshu. God knows how frustrated those CP fans were when he sang I Want to See You, I Just Want to See You in the future and in the past, I just want to see you and are you waiting for the word I do just like me? All your teeth have fallen out, okay. Everyone said that this is a love story. This is the theme song of Lianzong. It should be the main melody with such a sweet and soaring voice, okay. Having said that, Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu's Pei Ban Takes Care of CP is really getting stronger. Originally, this couple was the earliest and sweetest pairing in Crystal Love Season. Although Xiao Gu is an out-and-out showstopper, I can't help but feel that he and sister Pei have such a strong connection. As soon as the song Want to See You came out, it became their CP's marketing song. This song went viral on Weibo. Because it is really nice and suitable for expressing love, this song was even used by people. It is called The New Generation, the Divine Comedy of Confession. There is a college student pure love warrior internet celebrity on Douyin. He said that he wanted to practice this song to express his love to the goddess he has been looking for a long time, and it also attracted a lot of attention. Anyway, everything is considered prosperous. But the official accounts on various platforms of Crystal Love Season are full of curses. Don't force me to slap you at the top of my head when I say, Pei Ban takes care of CP. Sister Pei left as soon as she left. What do you mean by asking Gu Huiyan to send heartwarming messages to other female guests? Look at it well, you have to give people money and shit. You died from the poison, give it up. The source of the scolding is naturally the announcement of the heartbeat information segment of the program team. When everyone learned from the official WeChat account of the show that Pei Jingshu left the team due to work and Gu Huiyan was forced to send heartfelt messages to other female guests, it really exploded on the spot. That night, because of Want to See You, many pure dear people got very excited and said Pei Ban takes care of CP, but at this time, you are giving money to the labor. How can you bear this? To be honest, if the heartwarming message Gu Huiyan sent to Shang Zuoyan didn't seem to be just for business, they might have scolded Gu Huiyan as well. The program team also suffered pain that they should not have to endure. Most of the people who are interested in the program are Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu's Pei Ban takes care of CP fans. If you want to say that Pei Jingshu is the only fan in the family, of course they are delighted. After learning that Pei Jingshu had left the team due to work, the fans of Pei Jingshu's family were so happy. Finally, they no longer had to watch the scene of Pei Jingshu and Gu Huiyan stuck together with a broken filter. Did it purify their eyes? As long as they leave Gu Huiyan, their sister Pei will still be the same aloof and entertaining person. There are even some weird fans who are making trouble, and specifically comment on the fact that Gu Huiyan sent a heart-wrenching message to Shang Zuoyan in the comment area of Pei Jingshu's major social platform accounts. Say what? Sister Pei, look, as soon as you left, this old man sent your heartbeat message to others. Such a person is not single-minded at first sight, Hitui. A scumbag. Don't tell me that you have to post what the program team requires. If he refuses to post it, can the program team force him to post it? In other words, he doesn't even have the courage to defy the rules of the show, so how can he fight against the whole world for my sister pay? There's nothing wrong with me, sister. You're right. I'll leave the light for you. These people are so wicked, they will make a living just by looking at them. The funniest thing is that Pei Jingshu's manager's sister, Pei Ya, didn't show her phone during the whole trip, but after seeing these Weibo comment sections, she made a point of showing it to Pei Jingshu. Pei Jingshu. Suddenly, I felt like my sister had become a little black fan. Your chicken feet are exposed, okay. But to be honest, Pei Jingshu was actually quite satisfied with what Gu Huiyan did last night. He had no choice but to reply to Shang Zuoyan, but if you look at what he replied to, it seemed like he was dealing with official matters. Thinking that he was dealing with official matters for her, Pei Jingshu was actually not angry, but actually quite satisfied. Speaking of which, she really wanted to finish her work and go back. On the internet, there are ups and downs and bells and whistles. The Crystal Courtyard spent a quiet night. Early morning. The blazing sunshine shines along the gaps in the treetops and falls on the stone slabs with some weeds growing in the small courtyard. There are a few small chairs in the small courtyard, and the breath of life rushes into the face. Huh. The camera turned to show the actor Su, who was going out for morning exercise. No matter in the north or south, the air is good just after it rains. The dust in the air will decrease with the rain. This early morning when the sun is shining is perfect for going out for a run. The actor Su Yuntang, wearing a grey sportswear, was jogging on the streets of the small village. He had a well-proportioned figure and a well-proportioned body. There were beads of sweat rolling on his handsome face, and his masculine charm was clearly visible at this moment. The show started, and the audience rushed in, and the barrage scrolled. He is indeed the man I admire most. It is indeed a walking hormone. As expected of a man who can compete with my appearance. You are so drunk that you can sit at the same table with a dog. The actor Su Yuntang, who had gone out to do morning exercises early in the morning and breathed in the fresh air, was in a pretty good mood. The effects of yesterday's iced black tea, toilet water and fenju essence had almost been absorbed by him. Suddenly. Aha! When he came face to face, he saw Gu Huiyan, who was wearing familiar big pants, flip-flops, and a grey peaked cap, walking over with a stern look on his face, rubbing his eyes, yawning. Good morning, brother. Gu Huiyan also saw Su Yuntang. Even the sportswear worn by the actor Su Yi was worth a lot of money. He looked particularly conspicuous and outstanding against the background of this small village. What's more, he is accompanied by Folloped, so it's hard not to notice. Morning. Su Yuntang forced out a not-so-good-looking smile and bought a watch. To be honest, he really didn't want to see Gu Huiyan. Just before going to bed last night, when he thought about the iced black tea, toilet water and wind oil essence that this guy had when he was making tea, he was so angry that he couldn't sleep because of itching teeth. He couldn't sleep even after closing his eyes for a long time. He was so angry that he even sat up and muttered depressedly. No, is he sick? Now that I saw Gu Huiyan, to be honest, if it weren't for the camera, he would definitely not give him a good look. What are you going to do? Su Yuntang took out a pack of tissues from his pocket, took out a few to wipe his sweat, and asked Gu Huiyan. He was a little puzzled, what time it was, probably around 7 o'clock, why did Gu Huiyan's grandson, Zhe, get up so early? Oh, I'll go to the kindergarten at the entrance of the village to buy breakfast. Gu Huiyan grinned. In fact, he didn't remember it being so early. Mainly because he slept all afternoon yesterday, and then he really didn't sleep at night. He woke up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. He was very energetic and couldn't sleep. Come to think of it, it's okay anyway, So getting up in the morning and ordering soy pot noodles, instant noodles, etc. is not enough to make others dislike it, and the system will not give as many points for this kind of work as the first time. Gu Huiyan remembered that when he and Pei Jingshu went out that day, they passed by the kindergarten at the entrance of the village. There seemed to be some breakfast shops nearby. Gu Huiyan simply got up, went out for a walk, and bought breakfast on the way. We also followed the example of the famous actor Su Chen in doing morning exercises. Buy breakfast. Hearing this, Su Yuntang was stunned, and his handsome face trembled slightly. If he remembered correctly, the breakfasts sold outside were all rujiamo, Chinese burgers, steamed buns, fried dough sticks, etc. These are relatively normal breakfasts across the country. You have to compare them to those serious breakfast places or places that eat mutton steamed buns. I didn't say that. But the problem is, he cares about Huiyan, a celebrity artist, and eats this kind of thing in the morning? Everyone tolerates him eating hot pot noodles and instant noodles, so why the hell do you still want to go out and buy breakfast? Are you serious? No, Su Yuntang was confused. Did he really not need to control his figure? Puff. Even many viewers laughed and expressed. As expected of my brother Gu, you started working on it early in the morning. I don't agree with anyone when it comes to the whole job, but brother Gu. What do you think he will eat today? Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x3. Gu Huiyan is actually quite helpless. I mean, do celebrities really not eat breakfast in the morning? Do they really not go out to buy breakfast? Can you get points for this? Are you really serious? Sometimes Gu Huiyan doesn't even understand. I can bring some back for you. What do you want to eat? Gu Huiyan was quite polite. He must be very hungry after watching Su Yuntang exercise all morning, so he asked casually. It was a good intention after all. Although Su Yuntang didn't like it, no, it should be said that he hated Gu Huiyan very much. But people said that you should not hit the smiling person with your hand, so he still smiled and said, No. No, thank you. Well, okay, you run first, I'll go. Gu Huiyan said hello to Su Yuntang and walked in the opposite direction to the kindergarten at the entrance of the village. Looking at Gu Huiyan's leaving figure, Su Yuntang couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth, thinking that it was really unlucky to be on horseback, and he would be able to see this kid in the morning. It is worth mentioning that the main shot was originally given to Su Yuntang, but as soon as Gu Huiyan appeared, the director gave almost all the shots to Gu Huiyan. No way. 2 days ago, when the broadcast first started, the traffic of any other guest could crush millions of Gu Huiyan. If you look at the past 2 days, our little Gu has been quite impressive. He was able to stand up to a group of traffic by himself. Many viewers came in now just for Gu Huiyan. This show originally focused on top celebrity romance at the beginning, but now it has been turned into his own job show by Gu Huiyan. The highlight of this show is not only his job, but also his works. Are you looking at this moment? As soon as he appeared on the scene, the barrage immediately came alive, and the screen began to fill up. Quack. Early morning. Yongzi village. Gu Huiyan, who looked like he was still awake, was wearing familiar big pants and flip-flops, walking leisurely on the stone road in the village with his hands behind his back like an old man walking. The sound of flip-flops on the floor was very light and crisp. It was in sharp contrast to Su Yuntang's serious and self-disciplined morning jog just now. When he looked up, the early morning sunlight hit Gu Huiyan's face, which was a bit dazzling. Gu Huiyan had to lower the brim of his hat to hide the fact that he went out without washing his hair. The hat is really a good thing. I have to say that Gu Huiyan is really good looking. His face is sharp and very recognizable. If he dresses up well, he will look like a real young man. It's just that his state is like that of an old man, making people dumbfounded. But one netizen in the comment area said, "Actually, I prefer Gu Huiyan's state to Su Yuntang. Running early in the morning is disciplined, healthy and desirable. But tired. Who doesn't want to sleep in and wake up naturally? There is no need to change clothes when you wake up, and you don't even wash your face or hair. Put on a hat, wear those big pants and flip-flops, and go out with your hands behind your back. Let's take a leisurely walk down the street and buy breakfast. Who wants to be woken up by the alarm clock early in the morning without even waking up? Get up at a fixed time, put on sportswear, run for 3 or 4 kilometers, come back covered in sweat and have no decent breakfast and can only eat a boiled egg. It's really not a good thing to show it off, but it's so damn comfortable. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth." Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 95. In fact, self-discipline is really tiring. You have to be healthy, go to bed early and get up early. You will be woken up by the alarm clock before dawn, put on sportswear and go out for a 3 to 5 kilometer run. When you come back, you will be as tired as a dog. You will be sweating and you can only eat a boiled egg after taking a shower. Drink a pack of milk. Lunch at noon should not be high in fat or calories, no pasta, no pork, no snacks, no drinks. Before buying anything, you have to subconsciously check the calorie and fat content. When you see ice cream and cream cakes in the supermarket, you only dare to look at them but don't buy them. Those who had a good dinner had porridge and vegetables, while those who had a bad dinner had to eat a cucumber or some fruit to satisfy their hunger. My stomach growls when I go to bed at night, and I can't play with my phone for a while, so I have to go to bed within the specified time. Yes. Such self-discipline. So healthy. That will also make people feel better and become more confident. But then, are you really happy? Do you really live like a human being like that, just an ordinary person? Life is tiring enough. I just want to eat well, sleep more, and play more. Am I wrong? Why do so many so-called experts and celebrities say that it becomes unhealthy and lacks self-discipline? This thing is just like a higher-level moral kidnapping now. They encourage everyone around them to do this, and if you don't do it, it will be your fault. But have you ever thought about it, that the group of experts and celebrities promoting these things are not doing it to sell the products they endorse and to bring goods? The funniest thing is that while they are selling you fat-reducing meals, they are living a high-quality life with the increased advertising fees you contribute to sales, but you are deceived into being malnourished and self-disciplined every day. Others regard you as a leak, and you regard them as an idol. Yes, it is true that some celebrities and entertainers are like this in their daily lives, just like the stars in Crystal Love Season. But they are celebrities, they are artists, and this is what they make a living from. If someone gets fat or greasy, no one will notice. People are so controlling when you eat this kind of food. You are not a celebrity, so you are imitating others. This is also the reason why even though Gu Huiyan is so bad, his state is loved by many viewers. Times have changed. In the past, the entertainment industry was trying to differentiate themselves from ordinary people by trying to raise their tastes. Ordinary people thought they were so cool and sophisticated that I must pursue them. But ordinary people are not stupid, and they will not be fooled all the time. When the window paper is punctured, in fact, the celebrities are the clowns in everyone's eyes. Are you trying to show off when you look down on us with the high-quality life our hobbies bring? Where does the sense of superiority come from? Without us, you are nothing. Celebrities who don't understand their true nature really don't deserve to be liked by the audience. It is precisely because of this that the brother's comment just now that he liked Gu Huiyan's state better than Su Yuntang was unanimously recognized, and many netizens discussed this matter in the comment area. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x5. When he received the system notification, Gu Huiyan was stunned. This. Gu Huiyan looked back at his camera teacher, and then looked around. Apart from the two of them, there was no one else in the alley. Where did he get the system points? No. He didn't do anything, just took a normal walk. How can I get points from this? It's too easy to get these points. What a ghost. Gu Huiyan scratched his head. This system always occasionally gave him a few large rewards. People said that no reward was received for no merit. Gu Huiyan used this kind of unintentional points, which was really not practical. I couldn't figure it out, but I was so shocked that I could only say thank you to the system in the end. While walking all the way, Gu Huiyan came to an area selling breakfast near the entrance of the kindergarten. It is now past 6 o'clock in the morning, the kindergarten has not yet opened, and it is not yet school time. There are some children and parents who come to eat, but more of them are some nearby migrant workers and villagers. There are also many types of breakfasts sold, such as fried dough sticks, fried cakes, steamed buns, hamburgers, you can think of it all. Full of fireworks. Well, what should I buy? Gu Huiyan walked all the way there and didn't go out to eat for a while. He didn't even know what to buy. There was a rice noodle shop here, but it looked much worse than the one in the ancient city that Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu went to the day before yesterday, so of course he wouldn't consider it. There are a lot of people here. Isn't there a camera teacher accompanying Gu Huiyan? It's really eye-catching. Many people are looking at them along the way, and some are whispering to the people around them. Is this a recording of a program? At this time, Gu Huiyan would turn to look at that person, nod, and smile generously, and say, "Oh, yes, it's a recording of a program. Madam is eating." He seemed very kind and easy to get along with, as if he was not an artist who came to record a show, but a junior in the village. The lady was stunned and nodded awkwardly to Gu Huiyan. Seeing this, the audience all expressed whether they should say that Gu Huiyan had the potential to be a bit of a social gangster. Many people feel very comfortable in this state. You must know that many celebrities nowadays are very polite to passers-by, especially those who are not fans. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x3. 2 pounds of fried dough sticks. After picking and choosing, Gu Huiyan walked to the fried dough stick stall on the roadside and said to the boss, "To be honest, there are indeed many kinds of breakfasts sold here. If Gu Huiyan eats it by himself, it doesn't matter what Gu Huiyan chooses. He is not a very picky eater and can eat anything. The key problem is that when you go out, you can't just buy something for yourself. You have to take some back for everyone. Yes, Su Yuntang and the others may not eat these high-calorie foods, and their breakfast is relatively healthy. When they met Su Yuntang just now, they said no, even if Gu Huiyan bought it back, they might not eat it. But whether they eat it or not is one thing, and whether Gu Huiyan buys it is another matter. This mainly depends on one's mind. Isn't that what they say? This river and lake is not about fighting and killing. This river and lake is about human nature. Gu Huiyan may indeed have his own way of doing things, but it's not like he's not clear about human nature and sophistication. Therefore, Gu Huiyan was thinking about it when he came here just now. You said you want to buy some steamed buns to take back, some Rujiamo buns to take back, some hamburgers to take back. If these people don't eat it, wouldn't it be a waste? Gu Huiyan has a big appetite, but he's not that old for a meal. If he buys food for every guest and they don't eat it, Gu Huiyan won't be able to finish it after 2 meals. Besides, these things won't taste good if they're left. On the contrary, this fried dough sticks is different. Even if there are leftovers, you can still eat them for a day or two, and you can even eat them in different ways. You don't have to worry about leftovers, and it doesn't matter if you buy more. That's why Gu Huiyan, who is thrifty and diligent, chooses to buy fried dough sticks. only. When he was buying fried dough sticks, many netizens on the barrage commented, "Ft, as expected of you, Gu Huiyan. He is really using practical actions to explain to Jiangshuo what oil is, ha ha ha. Jiangshuo, he really, I cried to death. Ha ha ha." The grievance between Gu Huiyan and Jiangshuo can be traced back to the topic of oil when the two met for the first time the morning after the program was recorded. Greasy oil. Jiangshuo talked about Gu Huiyan's fried noodles, and Gu Huiyan listed a series of fried foods for him, leaving him speechless. And since then, Gu Huiyan has been using practical actions to explain to Jiangshuo what oil is. Yesterday we served braised beef instant noodles, and today we are even more serious, we directly serve fried dough sticks, okay. The main thing is an extreme. To be honest, everyone is looking forward to Jiangshuo's expression when he sees Gu Huiyan showing off the fried dough sticks for breakfast. Also give him a knife to pull his butt, and open his eyes. At the same time, some viewers expressed their laughter and tears. Gu Huiyan, do you really have no taboos? Those fried dough sticks are poison to celebrities. Even those who don't control their figure rarely eat fried dough sticks. If you eat like this, are you really not afraid of getting fat, not afraid of oil, and not afraid of being in bad shape? I have to say that Gu Huiyan is really refreshing everyone's understanding of him every day, every day. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x3. At this time, the system points also arrived as scheduled. Let's have 3 more soy milks and 2 bowls of tofu curd. Gu Huiyan's expression didn't change. He took a look and realized that eating fried dough sticks without dipping them in soy milk and tofu would be soulless, so he simply added a few more. The soy milk here is squeezed by oneself, and it looks pretty good when poured out of the bucket. Drinking soy milk in the morning is also very healthy, so you don't have to worry about buying too much of it. Besides, even if he bought too much, it didn't matter if Gu Huiyan showed off, since the drink wouldn't fill his stomach anyway. There is also spicy soup, but Gu Huiyan can't get used to it. It's sticky and not very tasty. 10 more tea eggs. Gu Huiyan was bleeding profusely, and the tea eggs looked good. Thinking of Shang Zuoyan eating the boiled eggs every day for the past 2 days, her manager would not necessarily let her eat the fried dough sticks when she brought them back. She couldn't bear it, so Gu Huiyan thought of bringing her a few. A tea egg. This guy is also very knowledgeable about everything. This scene made some viewers laugh out loud, and they didn't know how to praise him. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x4. A few more rounds of system points arrived. Gu Huiyan was quite satisfied with the system points this morning. It was now 1067. Speaking of which, Gu Huiyan had more than 8,000 points yesterday. It cost him 7,000 to increase music theory and tone color to LV5. In the end, the remaining more than 1,000 points were just enough to exchange for Want to See You. He almost lost it. Singing. So it wasn't that he didn't want to sing Heaven and Little Lucky, but it was purely because he spent too much points and didn't have enough points left, so he had to back out and choose Want to See You. Yesterday, I almost wasted all my points and squeezed out not a drop left. Once back before liberation, Gu Huiyan was really not used to it all over again today. After paying the money and waiting for a while, the boss packed Gu Huiyan's breakfast and handed it to him. Okay, thank you. Gu Huiyan nodded and thanked him, and then walked back with his followed. He hadn't even walked a few steps, but when he saw that the freshly fried golden fried dough sticks were so hot and tempting, he simply called to the camera teacher and said, "Teacher PD, help me get it, come." Without waiting for the camera teacher to react, he directly stuffed the tofu brain, soy milk, etc., and then he took out 2 fried dough sticks from the bag very tastelessly, stuffed one into his mouth, and held the other. He handed it to the camera teacher and said, "Come on, Camera teacher, thank you for your hard work. Photography teacher. Aim. The camera teacher wanted to say, you still know how hard I worked. Of all the follow-ups on this show, I am the only one responsible for you, Gu Huiyan, and I am the most tired. You still know what to do. Ha ha ha. Gu Huiyan's appearance also successfully amused some viewers. They said, why do you feel like this guy is acting like I can't wait to eat something I bought? No. He takes the dough sticks directly with his hands. Aren't you afraid of getting dirty? You're so filthy, I've never used chopsticks since I've been eating fried dough sticks since I was a kid. Gu Huiyan, if you are not clean, you will not get sick after eating it. Ha ha ha, he really doesn't look like an artist. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x3. The system once again gave Gu Huiyan points for a critical hit. In fact, many people have probably experienced the feeling of buying freshly fried chicken legs and fried dough sticks, which look so tempting that they can't wait to get home and take a bite on the way. This is really not greedy. These fried things should be the best when they are freshly fried, especially the fried dough sticks, which are different from the freshly fried ones after being left for a while. If it is packaged and taken away, it cannot be buttoned and must be left open, otherwise it will not be crispy and will not taste good. You are like Gu Huiyan now, packing and taking away, looking at the water vapor in the plastic bag, even if it is open, you are a little afraid that the fried dough sticks will not be crispy if you take 2 steps. It's not that I'm greedy, I just want to take a bite when it's at its most delicious. Even if he eats it directly with his hands, Gu Huiyan eats happily. Nowadays, people need to be clean. Whether it is food sold in restaurants or stalls outside, or food eaten by themselves, they must wear gloves and use chopsticks. They must not eat directly with their hands. Because experts said that if there are bacteria on your hands, if you eat them directly with your hands, the bacteria will be eaten into your stomach, which will cause a series of diseases. All in all, it's very mysterious. Yes, it is undeniable that what people say is based on science and makes sense. But every one of us needs dough to steam steamed buns and pancakes, and who doesn't just need it with bare hands? I have never had any problems eating the steamed buns and pancakes that my mother kneaded with her bare hands since I was a child. When I grow up, you tell me that I have to wear gloves if my bare hands have germs. My own mother has been cheating on me? Then I'm full of bacteria. How did I survive until now? If you really want to talk about bacteria. There are bacteria in the tap water, and there are bacteria on the hands. Please explain to me first why washing hands with tap water can clean your hands. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 96. Early morning. Crystal Courtyard. Today, the mature sister Xylin wore a patchwork patterned dress. The style of the dress is relatively niche, but when it is worn on her, it gives off the charm of a mature woman. The cuffs of the short sleeves were slightly rolled up, and the slender, and white wrists were exposed in the air. The whiteness seemed to form a strong and sharp contrast with the scene around him. It is worth mentioning that today, Xylin pulled up her big waves and tied them into a thick, long, and big braid, hanging casually on the left side of her shoulder. The amount of hair is amazing. With a white patterned hairband tied on top of her head, the whole image looks like the beautiful cook in anime. Have you broken the dimensional wall? Xylin's clothes are different from those of Shang Xuoyan and Pei Jingshu. Shang Xuoyan's style is more trendy, Pei Jingshu's style is more elegant, and Sister Xylin is more of a big-name brand, more couture and more mature women. She is a red carpet goddess and the darling of countless international fashion brands. Every time she attends a formal event, she never needs to take the initiative to borrow clothes. She is also the first to see the new seasonal styles from major brands. As for the seemingly simple dress I am wearing today, some netizens searched online and unexpectedly discovered that the value of this dress is probably more than 100,000 yuan. Even that hair tie is worth over 10,000. Everyone is surprised by the price, but not surprised that the goddess Xylin wears clothes of such price. Female celebrities usually wear relatively high-end clothes on the show, let alone our red carpet goddess Xylin. And the most interesting thing is that clothes, hair ties, and other things can only be regarded as cheap things for her. The earrings on her ears, the necklace on her neck, the bracelets on her hands, and other jewelry are truly luxurious. If you take them off, you can change them into an apartment in a small city. This is the goddess, with a sense of nobleness everywhere in her body. Only. It would be more eye-catching if such a noble female star sat gracefully in a cafe drinking coffee and having afternoon tea with friends instead of wearing an apron and baking cakes in the kitchen. In the kitchen, the goddess Siren found a few eggs and skillfully separated the yolks and egg whites, setting them aside for later use. Put an appropriate amount of low-gluten flour and cornstarch in a basin, pour the burned corn oil into it, stir quickly, then add some sponsors pure milk, stir until it is thick and there are no particles, then add the egg yolk and continue stirring. After finishing this side, the egg whites there were not idle either. Xylin found some sugar and put it into the egg whites. She also added a little salt and white vinegar, then put the egg beater on to beat. Then combine the two pots into one pot, stir evenly and pour it all into the baking pan. Then find some low-fat chocolate sauce and put it into a bag to spread a little. You're done, throw it in the oven and bake it. The technique is skillful, very elegant, and very clean. The picture is also irresistibly beautiful. The barrage was flooding at this time. As expected of my goddess. She has a quiet beauty in what she does. Haha, Xylin often makes it for me at home, and I'm tired of it. Brother, my urine is yellow, come on, come on. Speaking of which, Xylin and Su Yuntang both have some unique skills. Whether they are making cakes or making tea, they are very beautiful and elegant, and this is also the accumulation of their life experience. Acting is really a good profession. Take Xylin for example. She has played the role of a cake shop owner before. Before joining the cast, she went to a well-known cake shop to study for a period of time, so she can do a lot plant various pastries. Only when you play a certain role and understand a certain profession can you be a good actor. If you want to use those idol dramas nowadays to criticize you, then pretend I didn't say anything. Call. Pushing the cake into the oven, Xylin let out a long breath and said to herself that it had been a long time since she had made it. Fortunately, it didn't overturn. When the cake was baked and set, she just leisurely packed up the pots, bowls, whisks, etc. she had used. To be honest, Xylin enjoys the moment of cooking delicious food, but what she enjoys even more is the moment when she cleans up all the things she has used, washes them, puts them away and makes them tidy. That will make her feel very healed and her obsessive-compulsive disorder will be satisfied. Facts have proved that it was not only Xylin who felt this way, the audience also praised Xylin for her virtuousness after seeing such a neat scene. Everything must have been prosperous. Who knows? Quack, quack, quack. Suddenly there was a very familiar sound outside, as if it was engraved in the DNA of the audience of Crystal Love Season, the sound of slippers colliding with the stone pavement. Old Six is back. An audience member silently held his forehead, with black lines appearing on his forehead. Who else could make this voice besides Gu Huiyan? If Zhang Shuo heard this voice, it would really be a psychological shadow. Xylin, the beautiful cook in the kitchen, also heard the news and went out, and then she saw Gu Huiyan running into the courtyard door with long strides, carrying a large bag of fried dough sticks, soy milk, and tofu noodles. It's turbulent. What's wrong? Why are you running so fast? Xylin took out a few paper towels and wiped her fair hands. As she walked out of the kitchen, she looked at Gu Huiyan in a funny way. I bought breakfast. Gu Huiyan put down the fried dough sticks, opened them quickly, and said, Sister Xylin, come quickly and eat it while it's hot. When the camera showed Gu Huiyan's fried dough sticks, tofu curd, soy milk, and tea eggs, a group of spectators almost exploded on the spot. You say, what a beautiful scene of the goddess Xylin making a cake. Everyone is waiting to see the cake come out of the oven and be healed together. What the hell is this person coming in with a bag of fried dough sticks, tofu and so on? All of a sudden, the high-end healthy pastries have fallen into unhealthy breakfasts sold on the street. What else can you say to these people? This is... Xylin couldn't help laughing when she looked at the fried dough sticks, soy milk, tofu curd, and tea eggs that Gu Huiyan bought. She was surprised but not surprised. She thought that this seemed to be what Gu Huiyan would eat for breakfast. Let me eat some. Looking at the freshly fried dough sticks that were still steaming, the mature sister was also a little greedy. She took out a paper towel and wrapped a fried dough stick and put it to her lips, and took a bite. She nodded while chewing, and couldn't help but tell Gu Huiyan. It's really delicious. Speaking of which, even a female star like her who doesn't control her figure very rarely eats food like fried dough sticks. Fried dough sticks, the king of fried foods, a typical negative teaching material from nutritionists. First of all, it's oily and high in calories. Secondly, the deep-fried dough sticks on the side of the road are indeed not very healthy. The oil has been used for a long time. But it is undeniable that no matter how many unhealthy things are in it, it is still really delicious. Xylin suddenly remembered the time when she was working as a freelancer in Hongdian. At that time, she actually ate these things for breakfast. At that time, there wasn't even the term entertainers nutritionist, and artists, both male and female, were really not that noble or particular. In Xylin's impression, it seemed that it was only in the past 5 or 6 years that all kinds of things have been adjusted, calories, fat, celebrity status, and so on. She doesn't really care, but what can I say? Let's be immersed in it. People around you say that the fried dough sticks are unhealthy and unclean all day long. Others also think that how can a goddess like you, Xylin, eat such unhealthy and unclean things? Then you may also think that you shouldn't eat it? So even she hasn't eaten fried dough sticks in many years. If Gu Huiyan hadn't bought it today and she looked at the tempting fried dough sticks, she might not have eaten them. I also baked a cake, you can try it later. The butt covered by the skirt was gently leaning against the edge of the table. Xylin held one hand on her chest and held the fried dough sticks in her other hand and ate them slowly. In fact, she made the cake this morning just to show off her charm. To be honest, Gu Huiyan didn't reply to her heartwarming message last night, which made her very disappointed, but she was not discouraged. On the contrary, she felt that it was abnormal for Gu Huiyan to send it to her. After all, she was relatively familiar with Shang Xuan, and she just felt that she should work a little harder and be more proactive. She didn't think she would be able to lose to Shang Xuan even though Pei Jingshu was gone. That would be too embarrassing. Okay. Gu Huiyan looked at the position of the oven, nodded to Sister Xylin, and then went back to eat his breakfast. Speaking of which, Gu Laoliu is good at steaming and eating. He first peeled a tea egg, then threw the tea egg into the tofu dough, stirred it gently with a spoon, then picked up a fried dough stick and dipped it directly in. Put the fried dough sticks filled with tofu soup into your mouth. Hey, you're screaming. Sister Xylin, do you want to drink? Gu Huiyan expressed that he was very satisfied and pointed to another portion of tofu bread to ask Xylin. This one tastes good, but the taste is too strong. There is not only garlic in the tofu brain, but also chive sauce and so on. Many people drink this stuff in the morning and have that smell in their noses all day long. Look. Xylin hesitated when she saw tofu now. She really wants to drink it? But it tastes really great. She was wondering why the tofu puffs that Gu Huiyan bought were salty. Didn't they say that tofu puffs in the south were sweet? Just in time. There was movement at the stairs of the male guest's residence. The actor Su, who had returned from his morning run and went upstairs to wash up and change his clothes, and Zhang Shuo, who had just gotten up, came downstairs. "You're here just in time, do you want breakfast?" Xylin chuckled and asked, pointing to the fried dough sticks that Gu Huiyan brought back. The corner of the actor's mouth twitched when he saw the bag of golden things from a distance. "What kind of breakfast?" Zhang Shuo came over to take a look full of curiosity. "As soon as I saw the fried dough sticks. I saw Gu Huiyan eating fried dough sticks with tofu patties again. I was stunned at that time." "No, you. Zhang Shuo's expression could be described as suspecting life. "Which artist eats fried dough sticks and drinks tofu? Are you really kidding me? Ha ha ha." When the cameras showed Zhang Shuo, some viewers laughed like crazy. "Gu Huiyan, do you know what oil is? Teach you a lesson. Today I'm going to pull your ass with a knife and open your eyes." Ha ha ha. It caused a lot of laughter and laughter. Unknowingly, top idol Zhang Shuo has become the punchline of the show. But Gu Huiyan didn't seem to realize what Zhang Shuo meant. He picked up a fried dough stick with his bare hands and handed it to Zhang Shuo. He held half of the fried dough stick in his mouth and asked, "Want to eat?" He is really polite, really polite. Zhang Shuo. For a moment, Zhang Shuo felt a little embarrassed. He was thinking wildly in his mind, what is Gu Huiyan doing? How can he eat this? He is an artist. How can a celebrity artist eat such unhealthy things? He was madly hostile to Gu Huiyan, and he tried to embarrass this country bumpkin twice in a row last night. But Gu Huiyan not only didn't care, but also bought him breakfast and handed him fried dough sticks to eat. How kind people are. Bah. He's in KTV with me. Zhang Shuo quickly got rid of those damn bad thoughts in his mind. He thought to himself, how could he be transformed by Gu Huiyan? This kid must have bought the fried dough sticks on purpose to disgust himself and to let himself know what oil is. Thank him so much. He is so kind. Just as he was about to say something, Gu Huiyan handed the tofu bag over again and said, "This is actually not high in calories and is quite healthy to eat in the morning." As he spoke, he was polite to Su Yuntang and said a little apologetically, "But there's only one left." Su Yuntang and Zhang Shuo immediately didn't know what to do. What he said was as if the two of them would fight over the tofu in Gu Huiyan's hands. "What about us? Hey. Who do you think we are? Besides, this tofu curd is not high in calories and has little oil, but the problem is that it has a strong taste. Do you dare to think that an elegant celebrity artist like us has a mouthful of garlic smell? Especially Su Yuntang, as long as he thinks of his elegant appearance and bad breath when talking to others, he feels that the filter he has on himself has collapsed. Are you really kidding me?" "Exactly." Gu Huiyan sounded kind-hearted, but they had nothing to say. Hoo. A breeze blew, and the two stood there, messy in the wind. Ha ha ha. Some netizens laughed like crazy. They said that this Gu Huiyan's weapon was Xiaoman's 2-stage 12-second attack, and the 5-stage 12-stroke combo was taken away directly by the movie King Su and Zhang Shuo. Poor actor Su and top star Zhang Shuo couldn't even get an out. Puff. This made the beautiful cook Xylin over there laugh. She helped out and said, "It's better to keep it for Yan Yan, she should like it." Xylin remembered that Shang Zuoyan was very happy when Gu Huiyan mixed cucumber with garlic that day. She probably wouldn't resist food like tofu. Of course, the main reason is that this stuff is tasty and has no calories, so you won't be afraid of getting fat after eating it. What's more important is that her manager won't let her eat it. 2 days ago, I felt heartbroken when I watched Shang Zuoyan eating boiled eggs and xylin. Yes, yes, keep it for her. Su Yuntang and Zhang Shuo also smiled awkwardly and politely declined. Okay. After hearing this, Gu Huiyan put down the tofu now, and the crisis between Su Yuntang and Zhang Shuo was resolved. But having said that, where is Shang Zuoyan? Haven't you gotten up yet? Gu Huiyan asked strangely after taking a bite of tofu now. What time is it? Everyone is almost up, even him. Is Shang Zuoyan still sleeping? I woke up early. The mature sister pulled up a chair and sat down. Her movements of adjusting the hem of her skirt were elegant and generous, and the charm of a mature woman was clearly visible. She pointed to the next door and said, I'm practicing dance next door. Her dance teacher came before dawn in the morning. It said that it rained yesterday and delayed the whole day. Today I have to make up for yesterday's work. The mature sister couldn't help but feel a little sympathetic in her tone. You have to say that the worst person in this show is Shang Zuoyan. Don't blame her for looking miserable all day long. It's just that she can't eat. She's also forced to practice dancing morning and night. How can the word miserable be used? Their group seems to be preparing for a tour recently. Our show will start soon after recording, so we have to practice more recently, Xylin explained. In fact, being a boy and girl band is much more difficult than being a singer or actor, because they not only sing, but also dance. Take Shang Zuoyan as an example. For a concert, there are dozens of dance moves to memorize, not including the vocal part of the practice, which is very hard. That's it? Gu Huiyan nodded, but at the same time he was a little curious and couldn't help but think. Why don't you go and see her? Don't get me wrong, Gu Huiyan really doesn't want to dance with Zhou Yan, a prostitute, for free. Really not. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Xuan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 97. 3 cups of soy milk and 2 bowls of tofu. Gu Huiyan drank a bowl of tofu now, but no one drank from the other bowl. Sister Xylin suggested keeping it for Shang Zuoyan. Of the 3 cups of soy milk, the beautiful cook Xylin drank 1, while the movie stars Su and Zhang Shuo didn't drink it, probably because they thought the soy milk from the roadside stall was unclean. They drank the sponsor's milk and made some money by playing Boguangzi. Of course, out of politeness, they did not refute Gu Huiyan's kindness, and each ate 1 or 2 tea eggs. Let me go see Shang Zuoyan. Gu Huiyan's tofu puffs were quickly gone, but there were still a lot of fried dough sticks left. No one was eating them, so he had already nibbled 3 or 4 of them. After secretly putting 2 tea eggs into his pocket, carrying a few fried dough sticks and a cup of soy milk, Gu Huiyan went to where Shang Zuoyan was practicing dance. Having said that, Gu Huiyan has never seen Shang Zuoyan practicing dancing. Shang Zuoyan and her dance teacher practiced dancing next to the crystal courtyard. There was also a small courtyard over there, but it was not decorated much and was not decorated. It was usually used as a resting place for staff, and the staff on duty at night were also all sleep here. Because they are recording right now, there are not many staff around. Shang Zuoyan, her assistant, manager, and dance teacher are practicing dance in the small courtyard here. Do-do-do. Dong dong dong. As soon as he arrived at the door, Gu Huiyan heard a burst of dynamic music coming from inside. The volume of the speaker was not turned up very loud, so he could only hear it when he came over. The music played seems to be the songs of Shang Zuoyan and her group. The music of the girl group is more dynamic, so that it can match the dance better. Gu Huiyan took a bite of the fried dough sticks and walked over slowly. The door was open. Gu Huiyan walked to the door and saw Shang Zuoyan inside, dancing with the dance teacher's movements. I have to practice dance today. When not leaving the country, Shang Xuoyan wears relatively loose clothes, just a very simple training suit, rose red with stripes. But who makes Xiao Yema's body so tall? Even wearing such loose clothes, the outline of her round buttocks can be perfectly displayed in front of Gu Huiyan's eyes when she lowers her waist. The size of the chest should not be underestimated. Maybe it is too hot to dance. Zhou Yan has taken off her upper body training clothes. She wears a grey tight vest on her upper body. She dances and jumps up and down. It is very hot. Eye candy. Loose at the bottom and tight at the top, this outfit is so trendy. Gilug. Gu Huiyan inserted the straw into the soy milk and took a sip. Let's just say that Shang Xuoyan is indeed a female idol famous for her figure. Even if she is practicing ordinary dancing, the scene is very conflicting. The dance teacher next to her is also a woman. She is good looking and has a good figure, but she is too dry and has no prominent points or recognition. She is completely incomparable to Shang Xuoyan. Sometimes, Gu Huiyan feels that Shang Xuoyan is quite average, but if you compare her with any other female passerby, you will wonder why she stands out so much. Especially with her figure, her impressive career line is like no one else. Gu Huiyan thought, maybe this is because the comparison objects are different. Compared with 11 Lin and Pei Jingshu, Shang Xuoyan really can't do much. One is a red carpet goddess and the other is a domestic entertainment beauty. She has no advantage. But compared to Dearman, there is nothing she can't defeat. Having said that, in daily life, Shang Xuoyan is like an ordinary cute little girl, but when she dances, her charm is felt in front of her even if she looks at the back. At this moment, Shang Xuoyan is really the female idol sought after by thousands of people. Every time you move, you hit. There was music playing on the stereo, and Shang Xuoyan danced very enthusiastically with the dance teacher. Seeing this scene, Gu Huiyan was too embarrassed to disturb her, so he simply squatted against the doorframe. It happened that he hadn't finished eating the fried dough sticks yet, so he happened to be squatting there eating the fried dough sticks and drinking soy milk. At this time, Gu Huiyan still looked like the big pants and flip-flops, squatting there while chewing fried dough sticks and drinking soy milk. That image. Brother. Even some viewers couldn't stand it anymore and couldn't help but express. Is there really no one you care about in domestic entertainment? Brother. No. You told me that Want to See You was sung by him. Isn't this just a villager? AHH. He really enjoys it. The image of him squatting, eating fried dough sticks and drinking soy milk, to be honest, is not even an adjective like down to earth. He really wants to be stuck to the ground, right? Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x3. The system once again gave Gu Huiyan a reminder for points to be credited to his account. Gu Huiyan grinned, saying that it was really comfortable to eat while squatting like this. In his impression, it seems that squatting down to eat breakfast is popular in some areas. He is still holding soy milk. People drink soy milk directly from the bowl without spilling it, which is very cool. Having said that, Gu Huiyan knows how to enjoy himself. Just look at him right now. He is eating breakfast while watching Shang Xuoyan dance. Is it possible that the audience is so sore to death? Don't tell me, from Gu Huiyan's perspective, it's really quite eye-catching. With Shang Xuoyan's figure, you can really push it when you look at it from behind. She has a lot of waist movements in this dance. Every time she pushes up her round buttocks, Gu Huiyan can't help but move his eyes away to avoid the sharp edge. Maybe it was because of the sound of music, so Shang Xuoyan and the others didn't hear when Gu Huiyan came over. Shang Xuoyan was dancing with her back to Gu Huiyan, while her staff was watching directly in front of her. Because of the angle, Gu Huiyan was squatting. They didn't find it there either. Gu Huiyan, the old man, didn't say anything, just watching Shang Xuoyan dance and eating breakfast. The picture made a bunch of viewers numb, and the barrage slowly floated by. You old bastard. It's true that I called you Gulalu. You really know how to enjoy it? You are so wretched, Gulaoliu. The conscience of heaven and earth, Gu Huayan simply did not want to disturb their dance practice, not for enjoyment at all, these people interpreted it maliciously. But needless to say, Gu Huayan really enjoyed watching it. If this was such a close location to Shang Xueyan's group's concert, it would definitely be impossible to get it without even 3,000 to 5,000 people. His move is the real advantage of Zhou Yan. Gu Huayan was quite happy when he thought of this. He was just thinking and watching. Do. Suddenly, the music on Shang Xueyan's side changed. Shang Xueyan, who was performing various dance moves to the beat, suddenly raised her buttocks when she reached a certain beat, and then, in the direction of Gu Huayan, there was a burst of twerking. Puff. Gu Huayan was drinking soy milk. Just now, whenever Shang Xueyan's movements were a little bit measured, he would avoid them in a polite and gentlemanly manner. But when it came to this humming twerk, he really didn't hold back. A mouthful of soy milk spurted out. What sound? Who's behind? Gu Huayan made such a comment. Shang Xueyan, dance teacher, assistant, agent, staff, all came after hearing the news. Especially Shang Xueyan. Shang Xueyan, who was dancing, suddenly heard a jet of sound coming from behind, and she was naturally curious about who it was. Looking back, he saw Gu Huayan and Gu Lulu squatting on the ground, coughing from choking on the soy milk. Puff. Seeing him like that, Shang Xueyan couldn't help but giggle. Why is it you? Maybe it was because she had practiced dancing early in the morning, but there was a little sweat on Shang Xueyan's smooth forehead. Under the sunlight, it looked like she had applied highlighter, which added a bit of brilliance to her doll-like facial features. Her staff also came over after hearing the news. When they saw Gu Huayan squatting on the ground, chewing fried dough sticks and drinking soy milk, they all couldn't help laughing. His image makes me wonder which villager passed by and squatted at the door to look at him. Cough cough cough. Gu Huayan coughed for a while, and at the same time his face turned red. Even to his death, he never thought that Shang Xueyan would twerk at his position for a while. What a humming coincidence. Ha ha ha. The audience next door laughed like crazy and added insult to injury by saying, "You deserve it. Let you peek. Look at your wretched appearance. You have a thief's heart but no courage. Why don't you choke to death, you idiot?" My. Gu Huayan wiped his mouth and said to Shang Xueyan, "I bought breakfast, and then I saw that you never came back. I was thinking about it, so I came over to call you." Gu Huayan was explaining the 8 classics seriously, but Shang Xueyan couldn't help but laugh when he saw him like this and asked, "Then why didn't you call me?" "I'm not." Gu Huayan pointed to the sound and dance teacher over there and said, "I'm watching you dance. It's not convenient to disturb you. I just thought I'd wait until you finish the dance before calling you." His explanation was very reasonable and there was nothing wrong with it at all. But Shang Xueyan didn't listen at all. Instead, she came over with a smile and asked Gu Huayan, "Hey, how long have you been here?" There was a playful expression on her doll-like face, and Shang Xueyan's big, watery eyes seemed to see through everything. It didn't take long, just a short while. Gu Huayan felt inexplicably guilty when Shang Xueyan looked at her, and he didn't dare to look at her. Giggle. Shang Xueyan suddenly laughed for no reason. "Are you laughing?" Gu Huayan scratched his head, smiled a little awkwardly, and looked at Shang Xueyan, feeling helpless. To be honest, Shang Xueyan is inexplicably charming at this moment, not just because of the hot dance and the twerking. It was probably because she had just finished dancing and exercising, and there was a smell of body fluids and body fragrance on her body, which was very overpowering. Early in the morning, Shang Xueyan seemed to be in a good mood, and seeing Gu Huiyan's embarrassment made her laugh. This picture inexplicably attracted a wave of CP fans. The barrage is being posted. Android CP comes to Oita. Pei Jingshu has left, and Pei Ban takes care of is already in the past tense. AHH. She smiles so sweetly. He is so stupid, he is so earthy and stupid. Ha ha ha, you are a dog upstairs. Gu Huiyan, I'm so excited about Yuan Q. It turns out that Shang Zuoyan and Gu Huiyan danced Troublemaker together a few days ago, so they also had a CP at that time, called Shangzin and CP. However, later on, because the name was indeed a bit harsh and not very nice, it was ridiculed by a group of netizens. One Jiuer named the two of them a new CP called Android CP, which aroused a lot of praise. Their CP was also officially renamed Android CP. Sometimes they don't call them Android CP, just take the comment section of the video where they danced Troublemaker, and many people call them Android couple. In short, their CP is actually quite popular, but because Gu Huiyan and Pei Jingshu's Pei takes care of the CP is so good, and last night they had want to see you to help them out, so they are naturally the most popular couple on the show. Didn't Pei Jingshu leave today? After Pei Jingshu left, the popularity of their CP naturally dropped slightly. At this time, Shang Zuoyan and Gu Huiyan interacted in the same frame, and some interesting chemical reactions occurred. Their Android CP also came out for business again. What kind of breakfast did you buy? Shang Zuoyan didn't dwell too long on Gu Huiyan peeking at her dancing, she just looked down at the breakfast in Gu Huiyan's hand. When she saw the fried dough sticks and soy milk in Gu Huiyan's hand, the corners of Shang Zuoyan's pretty mouth twitched slightly, and she asked. Don't tell me it's fried dough sticks. Ah. Gu Huiyan nodded honestly and said. Can't you? While talking. He even took a bite of the fried dough stick in his hand in front of Shang Zuoyan. Shang Zuoyan. What a departure. Li Liyuan's score. How could Gu Huiyan, who lacked a great virtue, think of buying you dough sticks for breakfast while he was practicing dancing? Originally, her manager had strictly prohibited her from eating any carbohydrates or fried foods recently, but Gu Huiyan was lucky enough to buy a fried carbohydrate bomb. This gave her a hard time. Yes, she was very greedy when she looked at the fried dough sticks, and she really hadn't eaten them for an unknown amount of time, and she almost forgot the taste, but she really couldn't eat them. She couldn't bear to eat the braised beef instant noodles that were engraved in her DNA yesterday, and she had to endure the fried dough sticks today, but the crux of the matter was, she didn't have to endure it. She never thought that the show would be able to deal with these things. For a while, Shang Zuoyan was also confused and didn't know what to say. She held her forehead in silence, thinking that as expected of Gu Huiyan, she had to do something different for breakfast every day. Hey, come on. Before she could say anything, Gu Huiyan suddenly waved to her with a sullen expression. Shang Zuoyan thought it was something, so she lowered her head to look. Help me hold some. Gu Huiyan temporarily handed the fried dough sticks and soy milk to Shang Zuoyan, and then took out 2 tea eggs wrapped in transparent plastic bags from his pocket as if he were looking for treasure. Shang Zuoyan's eyes lit up when she saw the tea eggs. It's true that she can't eat fried dough sticks, but tea eggs don't matter. She has to eat eggs anyway. There's nothing unhealthy about tea eggs, and her agent won't allow them. But when she saw the 2 tea eggs in Gu Huiyan's hand and the fried dough stick in her hand, combined at a strange angle, his eyebrows were raised immediately. Especially, she was also holding a glass of soy milk in her hand. For a while, Shang Zuoyan became even more confused. What the hell kind of magical combination is this? Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Bulletin Shi Xuan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 98. What's wrong with you? The expression on Shang Zuoyan's pretty, doll-like face suddenly became strange, and Gu Huiyan was a little puzzled. No. Nothing. Female celebrities still have some skills in managing their expressions, and Shang Zuoyan quickly controlled her expressions. Then with a blushing face, he stuffed the fried dough sticks and soy milk back to Gu Huiyan. I was just about to say thank you to Gu Huiyan and say something when suddenly. Thank you, teacher Xiaogu. Her agent came over and looked at the fried dough sticks in Gu Huiyan's hand. She said politely. We, Yan Yan, are preparing for a tour recently. We must strictly control our weight and cannot eat this. Shang Zuoyan's agent is Han Li, a very neat and capable professional woman. In fact, when artists record programs, managers generally do not need to follow them closely. It is enough to have an assistant to take care of daily life, communication, work, and daily life. Professional managers are generally responsible for more than one or two artists, no matter how popular they are. Pei Jingshu is an exception. This is a personal studio, and her sister is only responsible for herself. Who will follow her if not her? Isn't it because Han Li was discussing work nearby recently? She just happened to stop by and keep an eye on Shang Zuoyan for a few days. She was really worried about Shang Zuoyan's weight. There were 4 of them in the group, but Zuoyan couldn't control her weight or keep her mouth shut all day long, and her weight fluctuated up and down. Yes, maybe she just takes advantage of her slightly fat figure, but if she is really too fat, she will be too fat. Shang Zuoyan pursed her lips, a little frustrated. However, she took the 2 tea eggs from Gu Huiyan's hand, waved them in front of Sister Han, and said, "Then this is definitely edible." Han Li's expression was subtle. She originally wanted to say that the things used in the process of pickling tea eggs were not sure whether they were good or bad. Moreover, it seemed that they were bought from Gu Huiyan's roadside stall. It was best not to eat them. Boiled eggs were the best. Healthy. But seeing Gu Huiyan next to him, he wanted to take care of Gu Huiyan's face, so he smiled gently and said, "Okay. Yeah." Shang Zuoyan was very happy. She was just happy for a while. "Eat after you practice." Han Li poured a basin of cold water over her. Well. Shang Zuoyan immediately became discouraged again, handed the tea egg back to Gu Huiyan, pouted her little mouth and became unhappy. As soon as she touches eating, Shang Zuoyan immediately transforms from the star-studded sexy little wild horse on the stage into a gluttonous little girl. "Then I'll go practice dancing first." Shang Zuoyan had no choice but to say goodbye to Gu Huiyan for the time being. "Okay, I'll wait for you." Gu Huiyan nodded and took a sip of the soy milk, looking very honest. He had no intention of leaving, and Shang Zuoyan and her staff had no intention of chasing Gu Huiyan away, so they just let the kid continue to squat there and watch in amusement. He didn't want to watch it, nor was he being obscene. He just heard from Shang Zuoyan's manager that it would be over after 2 more dances, so he could just wait a while. He had nothing to do, so he should watch and learn. In fact, Gu Huiyan is considered an audience. Shang Zuoyan has long been used to being watched by the audience. This is what he does, so there is no way he will be chased away. She is no longer that young girl, can she still be shy? She even wanted to dance a little louder. It was best to grab Gu Lulu's heart and let him know who was the best among the 3 female guests. She thought that Zuoyan had never convinced anyone in terms of charm. It turned out that her trick was indeed effective. Gu Laoliu was very happy to see it. He grunted several times and didn't know whether he swallowed saliva or soy milk. At this time, the unknown Chiuer said in the comment area, "Why do they look like a boyfriend waiting for his girlfriend to get off work?" As soon as these words came out, a large number of CP fans instantly ignited the hearts of CP. AHH. I've wanted to say it for a long time. My boyfriend looks like this when he waits for me to get off work. Haha, I think it's more like a couple going shopping and trying on clothes. I dragged my boyfriend out shopping, and when I went to try on clothes, he was squatting outside and waiting like he was begging for food. Ah! It really sounds like it when you say that. Android CP rush rush rush. Today's CP fans, they are interested in everything, including the unpopular and the unpopular, not to mention the normal ones like Gu Huiyan and Shang Zuoyan. It is worth mentioning that because Gu Huiyan was still chewing fried dough sticks and drinking soy milk, Shang Zuoyan got up early in the morning to practice dancing. By now, his stomach was already growling. God knows when Gu Huiyan was burning fat. How powerful it is to eat it right next to her. It was a good thing that she was holding her back and not looking. When the movement required turning around, she saw it out of the corner of her eye and couldn't help but swallow. Gu Huiyan. Finally, she couldn't hold it any longer, so she paused, pinched Liu's waist and gritted her teeth and said, "Can you eat it while you're at it?" She couldn't laugh or cry, Gu Liu was not a human being. "I'll finish eating soon." Gu Huiyan didn't take it seriously and stuffed the last mouthful of fried dough sticks into his mouth in a few mouthfuls. He took out the straw and opened the lid of the almost cold soy milk and drank it in a gulp. "Just finish it and call it a day." You. Seeing the way he stuffed his whole mouth neatly and neatly, Shang Zuoyan's saliva was almost drooling. "Okay. You dance your own way and leave me alone." Gu Huiyan was still waving his hands. "You, het." Shang Zuoyan was so angry that she rolled her eyes at him crazily. The audience was entertained, and they said, "You are really a 6-year-old. Hee hee." Shang Zuoyan's agent, Sister Han, also looked at Gu Huiyan with a smile. Although this boy had a village spirit, Gu Huiyan was a treasure in her eyes. In fact, not only her, but also many colleagues who were watching the artists in the program group were very fond of Gu Huiyan. Adiao and Want to See You, two works with very good reputations, have proved to almost everyone the talent of this kid. This kind of talented creator is the favorite of many people. If there is an opportunity to arrange a song with good quality, it can bring quite good profits to their respective artists. Works will always be the eternal main theme in this circle. Only with works can you be famous for a long time, and you will not be a fan of youth. What's funny is that Han Li heard that even Zhang Shuo's manager played a video to Zhang Shuo after Want to See You last night to ask him to establish a good relationship with Gu Huiyan, and don't try to bully him again. Yes, maybe 2 songs are not something to be afraid of, but if 2 songs are released and are widely sung online with high quality, it is amazing. It has almost become everyone's consensus that Gu Huiyan pretends to be a pig and eats the tiger, and some teams even think that he deliberately created such a contrast. This kind of person is like a dusty pearl, covering itself with a layer of dust. From the outside, it may look like a smelly and hard stone in a latrine. If you wipe it a little, it will shine. As for Pei Jingshu, the manager's sister, she has always looked down on Gu Huiyan, and she doesn't know how blind she is. Am I disturbing you? Being stared at by Shang Zuoyan's manager with a smiling expression, Gu Huiyan couldn't help but ask. No, how could it be? Han Li smiled and said. Teacher Xiao Gu is welcome to come and guide the work at any time. Gu Huiyan was a little confused by Shang Zuoyan's agent's attitude. He. Han Li is also a smart person. She smiled and said to Gu Huiyan in a joking tone. Teacher Xiao Gu, are you interested in writing a song for Aryan Yan? At this time, Shang Zuoyan was still dancing there, and the scale of her movements was still hot and alluring. Gu Huiyan took a look, but he looked particularly calm. He said. I've never written a song for anyone else. You can try it. When Han Li heard this, she felt that something was wrong. Well, it's valuable for me to write songs, Gu Huiyan added. As long as the quality is high, the cost is not a problem. Han Li became anxious. The current music market is short of both good works and money. As long as Gu Huiyan's works can become popular, it doesn't matter if he is given top-notch fees. That's it? Gu Huiyan scratched his head. In fact, he could write songs. The copyright fees for his own songs are not worth it now because they are not so popular. The copyright fee for yesterday's Want to See You was higher than that for Adele, but it was only $5. More than 100,000 like this. Yes, Gu Huiyan admitted that 3 to 5 million was quite a lot, but that was for ordinary people. If you look at the industry, the copyright fee for a well-known singer's hit song can easily start at 1 million, or even higher. There is no limit to human desires. If you can make 3 to 5 million, you want to make millions. If you can make 3 to 5 million, you want to make tens of millions. What's more, Gu Huiyan doesn't have this ability. Gu Huiyan thought, there are a lot of interesting but not particularly high-quality songs in the system mall anyway, and he can redeem 1,000 points, and it won't be a waste to use them, so he can make some extra money. You talk to my boss. Gu Huiyan subconsciously wanted to talk to my staff, but after thinking about it, MD seemed to have no staff yet. Mother John gave him a lot of work the day before yesterday, but she didn't even mention finding him an assistant or something. Let the cows work without giving them grass, mullet row. As a result, Gu Huiyan couldn't even talk to my staff now. It was so embarrassing that he had to leave this burden to Zhang Dan. Okay. Han Li is quite happy. To be honest, the entire domestic entertainment industry has entered a period of stagnation in recent years. Shang Xuoyan and her group are currently developing well, but they have just started touring, and the company is confused about the follow-up development. If there is a piece that can break out of the circle, that would be great. After watching for another 10 minutes, Shang Xuoyan also finished dancing. Gu Huiyan and Shang Xuoyan went back to the small crystal courtyard next door and said hello. Shang Xuoyan went upstairs to wash up and change clothes, while Gu Huiyan was called to the kitchen by Sister Xylin. The cake is out of the pan. Let's just say that there is indeed something in the cake made by Sister Xylin. The baked cake was a large square piece with low-fat chocolate flowers on it. From a distance, I could smell a milky fragrance. Come. Cut it into several pieces evenly with a knife. The light yellow cross-section is very beautiful. If you press it lightly with your hand, it will spring up immediately. It looks very soft and elastic at first glance. Oh, delicious. Gu Huiyan took a piece from Sister Xylin, the beautiful cook, and took a bite. It was really comparable to what was sold in cake shops outside. Movie King Su and Zhang Shuo didn't care about the sugar content, calories, fat, they each ate a piece. Facts have proved that sometimes it is not the food that cannot be eaten, but the person who chooses to cook it. Hey, Shang Xuoyan. While Gu Huiyan was eating, he ran to the yard and shouted upstairs, trying to get Shang Xuoyan to come down and eat too. Stop calling her. But the mature Sister Xylin smiled and waved to Gu Huiyan. Shang Xuoyan went upstairs not only to wash up and change clothes, but also to put on makeup. Naturally, a female star's day on camera must be very delicate, especially for a girl like Shang Xuoyan who has a changeable girl style. Not to mention putting on makeup, just getting her hair styled takes half an hour. Oh. Only then did Gu Huiyan give up. After eating 3 or 2 bites of the cake, Xylin asked him if he wanted to eat any more. He waved his hand to express that he couldn't eat any more. In the morning, he had a bowl of tofu, 5 or 6 fried dough sticks, a cup of soy milk and a piece of cake. If he ate more, he would be really fat. Speaking of which, Gu Huiyan has been eating like crazy for system points in the past few days without weighing himself. Now that he recalled what he had eaten so early in the morning, he couldn't help but feel a little scared. He ran to the scale in the living room and weighed himself. At first glance, it's a little strange that he is not fat, but is actually half a kilogram lighter. It shouldn't be. Gu Huiyan himself was puzzled. Could it be the effect of the system? If that's true, he can eat it freely. People who find that they are not fat after weighing themselves always feel very comfortable. It is already past 8 o'clock in the morning. It rained yesterday, and the air is very good today. The early morning sunshine shines on most places in the yard, and shadows make the most wonderful pictures. Gu Huiyan raised his head and glanced at the sun. After feeling it for a while, he felt that it was not so humid. He looked at the position where the sun was shining upstairs and simply walked upstairs. Then, in full view of everyone, he ran to his room and took out the quilt he had been covering for several days. Run to the rooftop to dry out. This scene made many netizens laugh, and everyone said, "No, brother, you are drying yourself in bed. Have you ever seen any artist show off their quilts on a show? I feel like Gu Huiyan really doesn't feel like he's there to record a show, it's like he's there to live. Ha ha ha, it's so impactful." Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x5. As expected, the system sent a prompt sound to Gu Huiyan. The air in the south is always humid, and the humid feeling is even more obvious on rainy days. Although he lives on the second floor, when Gu Huiyan slept with this quilt on him last night, it felt like sleeping in a pool. I understand everything. Gu Huiyan was not like other guests. He did not have staff to dehumidify him, so he had to find a way on his own. In the past, when he was at home, he would usually dry the quilt in the sun when the weather was sunny. Didn't experts say that drying the quilt in the sun can remove mites and kill bacteria, which has many benefits? Sun-dried quilts also have a reassuring smell. First floor. Xylin, the mature sister who happened to go out to throw away the garbage, saw Gu Huiyan standing on the rooftop drying the quilt. Ah! A smile appeared on the pretty face of the beautiful cook sister. When she smiled, even the flowers on the roadside didn't look so bright. To be honest, what kills Xylin the most is this picture full of life. It will make her feel very healed. She thought, how about drying out the quilt herself? Well, just do it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 99. This Country Bumpkin. Zhang Shuo saw the scene of Gu Huiyan drying the quilt upstairs, and a hint of disgust flashed in his eyes at that time. It feels like Gu Huiyan single-handedly lowered the quality of their program. Speaking of which, Zhang Shuo really had a headache after seeing the hot searches this morning. Last night, the whole internet was discussing Want to See You, and the program team directly took advantage of the situation and officially announced the status of the song's theme song, even using 2 lyrics in it. I want to see you, I just want to see you in the future, in the past, I just want to see you. Could it be that you are waiting for the I do sentence like me? It was directly regarded as the promotional theme of the show. The promotional slogan for Crystal Love Season has been circulating online this morning. What? The most romantic thing is not that I love you, but that I want to see you. What we are waiting for is never a confession, but I do. All kinds of fancy press releases were circulated wildly on various marketing accounts. It can be regarded as adding fuel to the fire of Want to See You and directly made the song a hit. On the other hand, no one cares about Zhang Shuo's song. What left Zhang Shuo speechless the most was that his manager actually called him this morning and asked him to be polite and get closer to Gu Huiyan. He also said that this kid might be something, a purple star descending from the sky. It seems that there was something rumored in the entertainment industry a few years ago. What? Domestic entertainment will enter a period of decline in recent years. A large number of popular artists will either collapse or retire. At the most desperate moment, a purple star will appear from the sky. He will be the king across the entire Asia. Superstars lead domestic entertainment into a new era. Many people sneer at this matter. Isn't it true that both new and old artists have suffered a lot in the past 2 years, and domestic entertainment has indeed stagnated and even become irrelevant? Therefore, this matter is becoming more and more bizarre as it spreads. Believe it or not, there are more and more people. No matter what profession you are in, there are always a group of superstitious people, which is normal. It's just that Zhang Shuo never expected that his manager would believe this stuff. What's even more speechless is, how could Gu Huiyan be anything, a purple star falling from the sky? What a joke. He wouldn't believe it even to death. Actor Su Yuntang was drinking tea. When he caught a glimpse of Gu Huiyan drying his quilt upstairs, he didn't have any discriminatory thoughts. He just wanted to say that this kid really made this place his home. Which celebrity artist shows up on the show to show off their quilt? This is quite rare in the history of variety shows. Nowadays, many people don't dry their quilts at home, let alone outside. Su Yuntang would also dry the quilt on a daily basis, but instead of drying it himself, his aunt at home would be responsible for it. Just as he was thinking this, he suddenly saw Xylin walking out of the room holding her own quilt over the female guest's residence. Ft, cough cough cough. Su Yuntang squirted immediately. He quickly took out a tissue from the side and wiped his mouth. He held his forehead silently, with a somewhat puzzled look on his face. To be honest, after coming to this show, he suddenly felt as if he didn't know Xylin anymore. Yes, Gu Huiyan is a villager. He eats steak with chopsticks, makes special editions for the night market, eats melon seeds, and eats soy pot noodles, braised beef instant noodles, and fried dough sticks for breakfast. But look at each one of them. Which time did Xylin not participate in it? In Su Yuntang's impression, Xylin should be as noble as himself. They once drank tea together, went to watch performances by foreign pianists, and went to countless high-end restaurants together. He just didn't understand, how could Xylin like that be compatible with these things from Gu Huiyan? Well. Su Yuntang sighed and shook his head helplessly. Then he stood up, walked upstairs, took out his quilt, and followed helplessly to the rooftop. Go for what? Let's dry the quilt. If you like her, you must be compatible with everything about her. Netizens commented on this scene. Everyone who sees a boiling sheep has to give him a cigarette. Just in time. Upstairs. Bang, bang, bang. Gu Huiyan put the quilt on the bamboo pole, then found a stick and beat it slowly against the quilt. Didn't experts say that the sun can kill the mites on the quilt, so you have to use a stick to knock the mite corpses off? Gu Huiyan just wanted to knock on the corpse. He didn't want to sleep with the mite's corpse in his arms tonight. Right now. Out of the corner of his eye, he suddenly caught a glimpse of a middle-aged man riding an electric tricycle carrying a young man passing by downstairs. The young man looked familiar to Gu Huiyan, as if he was the villager Ayao who had played basketball with him the day before yesterday. When Gu Huiyan saw them, they happened to also see Gu Huiyan, so they both waved and said hello. The person next to Ayao was his uncle, a kind-hearted middle-aged man who stopped the car and waved to Gu Huiyan. Gu Huiyan saw them carrying bamboo buildings and tools on their backs, and couldn't help but ask. What are you going to do? Go to the mountains to collect mushrooms, Ayao replied. Gu Huiyan's eyes lit up when he heard this and asked. Is it the kind of mushroom that can make mushroom hot pot? There is a very famous special health hot pot here in Yunnan, called mushroom hot pot. It is a vegetarian hot pot made with mushrooms as the main ingredient. Many of the mushrooms in it are wild mushrooms picked from nearby mountains. Gu Huiyan had heard someone say 2 days ago that there would be fungi popping up in the nearby mountains after the rain. He had never had a chance to take a look. When he heard that Ayao and his uncle were going, he became interested and asked. Can I go with you? As soon as he said this, the audience didn't react at all. His follow-up almost exploded on the spot. Please. Go up the mountain to collect fungi. Does that mean they are required to follow Gu Huiyan up the mountain to collect mushrooms while carrying such a heavy camera? 2 days ago, this kid was playing basketball and running around. He just went to the ancient city and held Pei Jingshu's hand and ran around. Today, good guy, he wants to go straight to the mountain. He just wanted to reiterate that he is a follow-up from a romance show, not a follow-up from a large-scale outdoor reality show. His physical strength is really not that good. And this is not just a matter of physical strength. The mountain road is not as flat as theirs. It is really strenuous to go up the mountain and carry the camera. Have you ever seen a few people really carrying that kind of heavy professional camera into the deep mountains and old forests? Recording the show? And there's more. It just rained yesterday, and the mountain soil here in Yunnan is relatively loose. Landslides often occur in many places. It is very dangerous to carry a camera into the mountains to shoot at this time. This guy just handed me the fried dough sticks in the morning. Now the camera teacher thinks about it. Why does MD feel like he's been trapped? You really have Gu Huiyan. Even the audience couldn't help but be amused by Gu Huiyan. He was the only one who could get to know the villagers well and ask people to take him into the mountains to pick mushrooms. He could play basketball with the villagers, so what would happen if he followed him into the mountains to collect mushrooms? Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x3. Gu Huiyan was deeply relieved that the system points had arrived. Okay, but... After discussing with his uncle downstairs, Ayao told Gu Huiyan. But it's not a very clean place, and the roads in the mountains are not easy to walk, you guys. He wants to say, aren't you all stars? Aren't stars all glamorous? Do you accept going into the mountains early in the morning to pick mushrooms and getting covered in mud? It's okay, it's okay. Just wait for me to change clothes and come right away. Unexpectedly, Gu Huiyan agreed without thinking. Hey you. His camera teacher saw that he was really going and couldn't stand it any longer, so he thought of calling him to stop him and tell him the dangers involved. Just when I was about to open my mouth. What are you talking about? Xylin, a mature sister dressed as a beautiful cook, walked up carrying a quilt. The camera teacher thought to himself that he had better not get excited for the time being. Maybe Xylin would stop him when he found out that Gu Huiyan was going to collect mushrooms. On the stairs, she could hear Gu Huiyan chatting animatedly with someone downstairs. Xylin couldn't help but be curious. After coming up, a pair of beautiful eyes wandered back and forth between Gu Huiyan and Ayao and his uncle downstairs. Gu Huiyan told Xylin that he wanted to follow them into the mountains to collect mushrooms. Collect fungi. When Xylin heard this, she originally fantasized about coming up to dry the quilt with Gu Huiyan, but when she learned that Gu Huiyan was going to go up the mountain to collect mushrooms with the villagers she knew, she was a little confused at the time. But thinking about it, she burst into laughter. This seemed to be something Gu Huiyan would do, right? Sister Xylin, do you want to go with us? Not only did Gu Huiyan not think there was anything wrong with this, he even enthusiastically invited Xylin to go pick mushrooms with him. At that time, many viewers were helpless and couldn't help but express. No, Gu Lalu, can you do your own thing without taking my goddess with you? Why do you have to take Siren with you every time you do something? Don't tell me that you want my goddess to ride this crappy tricycle into the mountains with you. Okay, Xylin will definitely not go. I said, if she goes to my live broadcast, she will eat 3 kilograms of Ollie. Haha, brother, if you want to eat Ollie, just say so, don't make excuses. Ha ha ha. The audience was speechless. They really couldn't imagine the scene of such a noble goddess Xylin sitting in that dirty tricycle. The camera teacher also laughed. He said to himself that the goddess Xylin would not follow a brat like Gu Huiyan into the mountains. What a joke. Ah. Xylin, who was holding the quilt, was stunned for a moment, with a hint of helplessness on her pretty face. To be honest, none of the clothes she brought were suitable for going into the mountains to pick mushrooms. It had just rained yesterday, so the mountain roads would definitely be difficult to walk, and she was afraid of getting muddy all over. She is indeed informal, but she also loves to be clean. So in fact, she subconsciously wanted to refuse. But looking at Gu Huiyan's novel look, her brother enthusiastically invited her to go into the mountains to collect fungi. Thinking about it, it seemed to be a very romantic thing. Looking back, it would be a separate memory for the two of them. Speaking of which, she didn't seem to have gone into the mountains to collect mushrooms, so it was just an experience. May I? She bowed her head politely and asked Ayao and his uncle. Camera teacher. At that time, the camera teacher looked confused and desperate. He never thought that Xylan would actually follow Gu Huiyan into the mountains to collect mushrooms. What the hell? Please. You are the goddess siren. Look at the clothes you are wearing. The clothes alone cost hundreds of thousands of yuan. Are you sure that such a noble female star like you wants to follow this guy Gu Huiyan into the mountains to collect mushrooms? Not only did you not persuade him, but you also went with him? Are you kidding me? The camera teacher was suspicious of his life. He originally expected Xylan to persuade Gu Huiyan, but good guy, Xylan actually wanted to go with him. If Gu Huiyan was alone, he could still stop him. He was not a particularly famous person and kept his words. He could just explain the difficulty of filming so that he could understand. But the goddess siren also wants to go, so why bother to stop her? For a high-ranking person like her, who would dare not let her go wherever she wants to go because of difficulties in filming? A plant. At this moment, the camera teacher was so shocked that Gu Huiyan was ready to chop it up. He regretted not trying to persuade Gu Huiyan just now. But, yes, our car can take up to 3 people. At this time, Ayao, who was sitting in the car, discussed with his uncle and also answered Xylan. It is worth mentioning that when they saw Xylan, Ayao and his uncle's eyes subconsciously dodge. The mature sister Xylan's nationality is very high. Even Ayao's uncle knows her and has watched the TV series starring her. She is a female star with full aura who can instantly kill a group of supermodels at a fashion dinner. In their local words, she is a pretty beauty who is very stunning in terms of appearance and temperament. They may have never seen such a beautiful woman in their lives. It is normal for them to be afraid to look directly at her when they suddenly talk to her. Then let's go. Xylan helplessly put the quilt on the bamboo pole and said gently to Gu Huiyan. Hurry up and change your clothes. Don't make people wait too long. Speaking of which, she was still fantasizing about sharing the quilt with Gu Huiyan. Now, she had to go out in a hurry again. Puff. The audience next door also laughed like crazy at this time, and they all said, "Come on, what about the one who said he was going to live broadcast eating 3 kilograms of ollie? I know you're greedy for this." No. Goddess, are you really going with him? I feel like after coming to this show, Xylan's style of painting has been led astray by Gu Huiyan. In the past, Xylan was a well-known actress and red carpet goddess, and topics related to her were always related to nobility. But after coming to this show, she followed Gu Huiyan to eat melon seeds, eat steak with chopsticks, and eat instant noodles. Well now, I have to follow him to the mountains to collect mushrooms. There is no one left. Maybe she knew that Ayao and the others had to gather fungi early, so Xylan put her quilt on the bamboo pole as quickly as possible. It's just that maybe it's because she hasn't been exposed to quilts very much. She's not very good at putting them on. The quilt is indeed a bit heavy and a bit laborious. It took a long time to pull it up. I'll help you. In order to save time, Gu Huiyan walked over, stood behind Xylan, and raised his hand to lift the quilt she was holding. Maybe it was just a coincidence that he happened to touch Xylan's hand. It's soft and tender, a little cold. It seems that girls' hands are cold no matter what season, which makes Gu Huiyan always feel puzzled. Sister Xylin has a very unique fragrance, which is also the smell of perfume, but the smell makes people feel like a mature woman when she smells it. It's like the kind of fragrance that you can only smell on adults since you were a child. From a young age, you know that it is the fragrance of an adult. When you smell it, you will feel that this person is very mature. However, the smell gives people a very high-end feeling, which is hard to explain. Feeling the warm feeling on her palms and the close male aura behind her, Xylin couldn't help but blush slightly. She quickly lowered her head and bent down to get out of Gu Huiyan's arms. She was Xylin, a sister. How could she stand with her brother in such a hugging position? How decent would it be to be seen by others? At that moment, Xylin, who came out with her head lowered and bent, looked like a little white rabbit, with an inexplicable contrast in her body. Participating in a love show, this little guy is too down to earth. Author, Buletin Shi Swan Shi Shui Xian. Chapter 100. Let's go. Gu Huiyan was also careless. He just wanted to not waste Ayao's time and quickly changed his clothes and went out without noticing the changes in Xylin's movements and expressions. Xylin smiled helplessly. She thought, it seemed that she had experienced the excitement that she imagined about sunbathing in bed, right? After slightly flipping up the loose hair on the right side, the mature sister also followed Gu Huiyan's footsteps and went downstairs. When they went downstairs, they happened to meet the actor Su Yuntang, who was also carrying a quilt upstairs. What are you? The actor Su originally dreamed of going up there and pretending that they happened to be sharing the quilt with Xylin. The two had a tacit understanding and thought of going together, which led to a series of chat topics. Who would have thought that before he went up, Gu Huiyan and Xylin were walking down together in a hurry? Oh, we're going to pick mushrooms. Gu Huiyan explained and quickly passed by. Xylin followed closely and just smiled at Su Yuntang. Collecting fungi. The actor Su Yuntang stood on the stairs, carrying his own quilt, looking confused and not knowing what to say for a moment, whether it was time to go up or down. He just wondered if he had never really understood Xylin. How could she be backward compatible? Well, now Xylin is going to follow Gu Huiyan into the mountains to collect mushrooms. This is really downward compatibility in the dirt. When Xylin went upstairs, Shang Xuoyan had just finished putting on makeup and put on a fresh set of clothes and came downstairs. Shang Xuoyan seems to be fond of those short and tight vests. Today, she wore such a black vest on her upper body, which perfectly wrapped her heavy breasts and showed off her voluptuous waist. Outside is a campus checkerboard cardigan with long cuffs that can wrap around the wrists, and a pair of black high-waisted jeans that perfectly wraps up those voluptuous legs. It is worth mentioning that today, Shang Xuoyan wore two very cute braids, which perfectly modified her doll-like face shape. Her hairstyle really has a different shape every day. What are you going to do? Seeing Xylin and Gu Huiyan changing clothes in a hurry, she couldn't help but be curious. Xylin didn't want to tell Shang Xuoyan that she was going to the mountains to collect mushrooms with Gu Huiyan, but Shang Xuoyan asked her but couldn't tell her, so she had to tell her. Going into the mountains to collect fungi. Shang Xuoyan raised her eyebrows slightly when she heard this and hesitated for a moment before asking. Who is going? Of course she didn't want to go. Going up the mountain to collect mushrooms didn't sound fun or clean. It had just rained and the mountain road was not easy to walk. She was so beautifully dressed today, wouldn't it be a pity if it got dirty? But when she saw that only Gu Huiyan and Xylin were changing clothes in a hurry, she felt inexplicably a little bit in danger. After hearing this, Xylin was suddenly stunned for a moment, then raised her eyes and glanced at Shang Xuoyan. To be honest, Xylin often regarded Shang Xuoyan as her daughter or little sister before, thinking she was cute and interesting. But the moment Shang Xuoyan asked who is going, Xylin suddenly felt like she recognized the reality. In her eyes, Shang Xuoyan seemed to be suddenly linked to a love rival. Sister Xylan, why are you looking at me like this? Being looked at by Xylan like this, Shang Xuan couldn't help but feel guilty. No, no. The mature sister responded quickly, and a familiar smile quickly appeared on her pretty face, saying, "Just me and Gu Huiyan." "Ah, then I want to go too." Shang Xuan didn't want to go at first, but when she heard that only Sister Xylan and Gu Huiyan were going, she immediately firmed up her mind. "Okay, it just so happens that I can only take one person with me." The mature sister smiled softly, but there was regret in her heart. Sure enough, she and her brother were not the only ones. "I'm going to change some shoes." Shang Xuan jumped up and went back to the room to change her shoes. They quickly changed their clothes and went downstairs. At this time, the actor Su Yuntang had just finished drying the quilt and came downstairs. Only then did he realize what he should ask. "I'll go with you guys," he suggested. He definitely doesn't want to go. Which celebrity artist is willing to go to the deep mountains and forests? But who asked Xylan to go? He must accompany her. We're full," Gu Huiyan said with a helpless smile. "Ayao's uncle rides an electric tricycle. It can only carry 4 people on the back, and there is no way to carry more people. The show cruise car." Su Yuntang wanted to ask the program team. At this time, Gu Huiyan's follow-up was complaining to Zhang Dan. He really didn't want to go. Not only him, but also the staff of Shang Xuan and Xylan also protested. The clothes they were wearing were worth tens of thousands of yuan. Is it okay to roll up a mountain and get covered in mud? While Zhang Dan was looking for someone to comfort Gu Huiyan's camera teacher, he offered to increase the money. While ignoring Shang Xuan and Xylan's staff, he explained to Su Yuntang with a smile. 4-wheeled vehicles cannot enter the mountain. We do have a few tricycles, but there is not enough space for the camera. There is no room." She smiled so much that one doubted the authenticity of her words. It's not that she didn't want Su Yuntang to go, so why didn't Su Yuntang say he was going? Uncle Ayao's tricycle originally had 3 seats. Su Yuntang was the first person Gu Huiyan and Xylan told when they came downstairs. Who could he blame for not being sure? So how did Shang Xuan grasp it? It's hot even when you eat it? Deserve it? This. Su Yuntang gritted his teeth secretly, feeling a little angry. "We have to leave quickly, don't make people wait too long." Xylan secretly smiled and urged. "Then, you go, we prepare lunch for you." In the end, Su Yuntang had no choice but to force out a smile and watch them go out. Outside the door, Ayao and his uncle were waiting on a tricycle. Gu Huiyan took Xylan and Shang Xuan out to meet them. Seeing that they were going to sit in such a tricycle, Shang Xuan regretted following them. The tricycles used by farmers are generally not very clean, and the tricycle used by Ayao and the others is even somewhat rusty. Gu Huiyan was not pretentious at all. He stepped on the pedals under the body of the car and turned over to get in the car. He also extended his hand to Sister Xylan and said, "Sister Xylan, come." "Thanks." Xylan pursed her lips and smiled, handed her hand to Gu Huiyan, and let him lead her into the car. In fact, the mature sister is not a pretentious person. When filming, she was dirty, tired, rolled through the mud, took a tricycle, and so on. When Shang Xuan saw that Sister Xylan was already on board, she must not be left behind, so she jumped onto the car with great skill. Only when 2 glamorous top actresses like Shang Xuan and 11 Lin sit on a tricycle that is not very clean or even rusty, the audience will have fun whatever they see in the scene. In my impression, celebrities like them, even if they don't ride in luxury cars, business cars, or nanny cars, they still have to ride in a car. Last time Gu Huiyan took Pei Jingshu to ride an electric bicycle. The electric bicycle was clean at least. This tricycle may have dirt on it because it was used to haul crops. What should you say and what should you do? The strong contrast left the helpless audience with only one sentence to say. It's all Gu Huiyan's fault. Sit tight and hold on tight. The uncle on the bike said hello and drove into the mountains. When going out, Shang Zuoyan was a little disgusted because the car she took was not very clean. As a result, when she left the village and entered the mountains, she sat on the edge of the tricycle and blew the wind, feeling the different perspective and admiring the scenery. The open-air scenery all around made her ignore the car. Yunnan is known as the south of colorful clouds. The clouds are floating on the mountainside. In the morning after the rain, there is still a slightly moist smell in the air, mixed with the smell of soil and crops, which makes people feel very fresh. Go into the mountains. Along the way, villagers from the same village would greet Ayao and his uncle, and they would respond enthusiastically, and the breath of life would come to their faces. This made Xilan and Shang Zuoyan, who were sitting in the carriage, feel like they were integrated into them, as if the villagers were also greeting them. It is worth mentioning that Gu Huiyan, a social gangster, when someone greeted Ayao and uncle, he actually waved his hand and said, "Into the mountains." This is no longer a social gangster, he really looks like a bandit. Ding, the host has successfully grounded himself and gained exposure, and the points are at 91x3. System points were also given to Gu Huiyan many times at that time. Puff. Everyone laughed at Shang Zuoyan. She pushed Gu Huiyan and said, "I'm not saying hello to you." "What's this?" Gu Huiyan waved his hands carelessly and said, "In our village, if you meet someone you don't know on the street, as long as you two make eye contact, even if you don't know him, he will still ask you if you have eaten. Real or fake?" Shang Zuoyan couldn't help but laugh, recalling that Gu Huiyan seemed to be from Shandong. Shandong is a country of etiquette. Since ancient times, there has been no emperor or treacherous ministers. Shandong people generally have the best reputation in the country, and they are honest and honest. Shang Zuoyan didn't believe it would be like this in other places, but she really believed it when people in Shandong said it would be like this. In the past, she had seen the famous spectacular scene of celebrating the New Year in the Shandong countryside. "I'll take you to experience it if I have the opportunity," Gu Huiyan said casually. Ah. Shang Zuoyan's pretty face blushed slightly when she heard this, and her beautiful doll-like eyes looked at Gu Huiyan subconsciously. She thought to herself, did this guy mean that he wanted to take her back to his home? This progress is too fast. "Why are you blushing?" Gu Huiyan asked strangely when he noticed that Shang Zuoyan was blushing. Who is blushing? You are blushing, get out of here." Shang Zuoyan pushed him angrily a few times. The tricycle was so narrow that Gu Huiyan almost pushed him down, which caused a lot of laughter. There was also a group of Android CP in the comment area who called it so sweet and crazy and rhythmic. They were serious about stealing the house of Pei Ban took care of CP while Pei Jingshu was away. Because of Gu Huiyan, the journey was quite interesting. The road by car is easier to walk, but the road into the mountains is not. The mountain road is rugged, and you can only get off the car and walk when you enter the mountain. Ayao and uncle lead the way, and Gu Huiyan, sister Xilan and Shang Zuoyan follow closely behind. This was Gu Huiyan's first time collecting mushrooms. It was quite new and he would ask about any mushrooms he saw. "What's this?" "Rice soup fungus." "What about this?" "Bluehead fungus." "This." "Red umbrella." "This." "This is poisonous and cannot be eaten." "Walk." Ayao in front of him was helpless. This guy Gu Huiyan kept secrets and kept them to himself. People who didn't know it thought they were good friends for many years. They were very familiar with each other and could not be disliked. Having said that, he has never seen such a down-to-earth celebrity artist. People say that people rely on mountains to eat and water to eat. It just rained. There are a lot of fungi on the mountains, and there are also many local villagers who go to the mountains to collect fungi. They collect a lot of mushrooms not for their own consumption, but mostly to sell them to supplement their family income. This mushroom is very valuable. The cheap ones are 89,201 kilograms. The more expensive ones, such as ganbo mushrooms, sell for more than 1,000 yuan per kilogram all year round. The peak season for mushroom production is from June to September every year, and many locals can earn half a year's expenses by collecting mushrooms. Ayao and uncle arrived relatively late, but the fungi were not exposed yet because the mountain was so big. What is this? Shang Zuoyan saw a strange-shaped fungus and couldn't help but grab it and ask. This is Jian Shaoqing, please leave it alone for a while. Ayao said. It's edible if it's cooked. If it's not cooked, it's poisonous. It can cause mild diarrhea, hallucinations, and severe coma. Is it so serious? Shang Zuoyan was holding a small fungus in one hand, looking up and down with her two big doll-like eyes, pouting her little mouth and asking strangely, obviously not believing that such a small fungus could poison people. Modern people's concept of the word poisoning is too vague. Many people have never been poisoned, so naturally they don't believe in this evil. You'll know if you try it. Gu Huiyan was so weak that he raised his hand to slap the fungus on Shang Zuoyan's mouth. Ah! Shang Zuoyan was startled, her eyes widened angrily, and she shouted. Gu Huiyan. Ha, just a joke. Stop. Hey, it's just a joke. You've got dirt in my mouth. Are you kidding? Stop right there. Ha. Shang Zuoyan just started running after Gu Huiyan. Jian Shaoqing just now was thrown into the bamboo basket she brought. You two, be careful. The mature sister Xylin called to them with a worried look on her face. This mountain road is not easy to walk, it has just rained and the soil is loose. The camera teacher just fell down several times. It is not safe for them to run like this. What's even worse is that the two of them running like this are very expensive for the camera teacher. People can't keep up. Hey! Isn't this? While running, Gu Huiyan stepped on a relatively loose soil. The sole of his foot slipped and his center of gravity became unstable. He fell backwards. Are you okay? Xylin hurried over to ask. She felt like an old mother, always following them and worrying about their lives. Fine. Gu Huiyan waved his hand. Nothing happened after the fall, but it was stained with mud. Ha. After confirming that Gu Huiyan was fine, Shang Zuoyan laughed mercilessly and added insult to injury, saying. You deserve it. I'll beat you to death. Gu Huiyan. Aim. Seeing Shang Zuoyan's proud expression, Gu Huiyan looked at the mud on his hand again, then he quickly jumped up and smeared the mud directly on Shang Zuoyan's face. Then turn around and run away. Ah! Shang Zuoyan screamed, and hurriedly took out her mobile phone from her pocket and turned on the front camera. It didn't matter at first glance. After seeing it, her eyes widened. An angry look quickly appeared on her pretty face like a doll, and she was so angry that she was so angry. Trembling. Gu Huiyan. Shang Zuoyan's roar echoed in the mountains. You are dead. She stood up and ran towards Gu Huiyan as if she was desperate. The face is the appearance of a female star, and it is also the entirety of a female star. The makeup artist spent more than an hour doing this makeup on Shang Zuoyan this morning. God knows how her foundation would feel when mixed with the wet and dirty soil on her face. Shang Zuoyan is crazy. Gu Huiyan is going to die. He must die. Come on, who dares to say that labor and capital are short and weak?